On tonight's program, we are going to examine what happens when you lose so much touch with yourself that your job becomes your man. And that's where a lot of you are today. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. Glad to be with you all here again for another edition of the program that laid the foundation upon which all of your red pill, MGTOW, high value posers, alpha male frauds, and wannabes have ripped off and stolen everything that they're going to be regurgitating next week. You definitely want to go ahead and tune into tonight's program here, because this will be the kind of thing that you're going to want to keep up with and that they are going to want to be making notes about. So all of my copycats and imitators, go ahead and break out your pens and your notepads. You're going to be needing them. We're going to jump right into it here. Why is it that so many women are finding themselves stuck by themselves, and focusing on their jobs is one of the huge major reasons that connects to so many other problems. And we're going to go in depth about that right now. Number one here, why is it that you're going to find yourself alone because of your job? Number one reason, my job gives me the power to defy a man. It used to be that women wanted to get a job so that they could help out with the bills around the house, so that they could be a supplement to the family's income. That is no longer the situation. They see a job now as serving primarily one purpose. It gives them the ability to defy a man. Based on the statistics and everything that we know here, considering the fact that most women are financially struggling, the majority of college debt is held by females. The majority of credit card debt and other consumer debt is held by females. And the reason for this isn't that they don't take the money that they get from their jobs and give themselves affluence. They're looking for somebody else to provide that for them. They take the money from their jobs and then spend it on themselves. But they also reserve it for one other reason, because it gives them veto power in a relationship. That they have the ability to get into a relationship with a man, and then they have veto power. So first and foremost, primarily, it gives them the ability to veto any of his decisions, and she has the ability to defy him, while at the same time claiming that she wants to be in a relationship. But first and foremost, she walks in, and this is her loaded gun. This is her loaded weapon. This is her break glass in case of emergency, which is every day. This is the blow up the household. This is the bomb sitting under everything. Having a job is first and foremost her leeway to challenge your authority, to defy your authority, and to ignore you. And we're going to get into more details about that. But first and foremost, just understand what you're looking at here today. That is the real reason why, for example, they go off and squander it. For men, what men do is men have a certain financial status that we're going for, which is why when you take a look at the trajectory of our lives here, when you are getting your money together, when you take a look at the trajectory of it, then you notice that by the time we hit our mid-30s, things are going one way, but for females, generally financially, is going another. In the workplace, between the ages of 18 and 25, males and females are pretty much neck and neck financially. There's a lie that women have been circulating now for decades that women make more money than men. No, only in certain entry-level situations. Jobs that have been abandoned, jobs that men don't want, whatever the case may be. But that's all at the entry level. But once we get to about the late 20s, the men's income pulls away and never looks back. And those are the realities. But the other reality is that females tend to focus on things that give them emotional comfort. So you find them going off chasing buying a house. Well, why? Because when they were young, their mama tried to put them out early so she can get back to running these streets. So she feels home insecurity. She feels housing insecurity, and she's never gotten over the trauma of that experience. So she focuses on that. And mama was probably a burned out hood rat, so the females go around buying cars. And when a female goes to buy a car, a man will budget for a car that fits into his overall financial picture. A female, when she goes to get a car, she's going to go buy her dream car. That's what she's getting ready to do. When a female gets ready to go out and buy a car for herself, oh, she's looking to go and buy her dream car. She will spare no expense. She will spare no expense. Katie barred the door. I'm going for exactly what I want. It doesn't, and the car salesman in the dealerships can see them from a mile away. It doesn't matter how much the car is. It doesn't matter what the payments are. She'll find a way. She'll take on 2 jobs to pay for that car. It'll have a 20% interest rate. She'll pay for it because that's what she wants. A man would never go off and spend his entire income tax return on a bag. Except the ones competing with the females who were raised in single mother households. But a man who actually gets to his late 20s and actually has goals, he realizes that's not the way he's supposed to operate and move. But what's happened is when females get a job, they use that to finance and facilitate their wants, first and foremost, their needs, second, 8th, 12th, whatever on the list may be. And a man is going to tell her, you can't do that. A man is going to tell her, you can't buy that. And instead of her submitting to his wisdom in this situation here, instead she sees her job as veto power. She doesn't want to be part of the team. She wants to run the team, even if you run the team into the ground. So when a man comes in and tells her the obvious, you can't afford this, you need to make changes, she says, I don't want nobody telling me what to do. Okay, but if you're getting ready to drive your car off of a cliff, do you still not want anybody telling you what to do? If there's a gas leak in your home and you're about to light up a cigarette, do you still, and somebody tells you don't do that, do you still not let nobody tell you what to do? And in the modern age, having a job has become the escape strategy and has become the methodology whereby which they defy a man's authority. That's what it's become. It's become the mechanism whereby which they defy a man's authority. But then they will pile on the demands and say, well, this is what I expect from you here. How many of you ladies, you grew up in households with your mama and that's exactly what she was doing? How many of you have done that? How many of you are repeating her mistakes? How many of you witnessed that happen here now? And you waited until it was too late. You waited till it was too late. So first and foremost, it allows them to defy a man's authority. I got freedom. Yes, you have freedom. You also have the freedom to destroy yourself. You've got that too. Make sure that you all are sharing, and subscribing to tonight's program. Very important that you do that. You know YouTube has declared war on this because we are not sitting up here having people with a bunch of useless information and gender warring. We're actually dealing with some real things. So make sure you share, and subscribe to tonight's program. Number 2, my job allows me to not feel obligated to show a man genuine gratitude. Folks, can we just keep it 100? Can we just be totally real about it? Most women today have base contempt for men. They are taught by their mothers to have contempt for a man, to have contempt for a man's place, to have contempt for his position. That a man's job is simply to bail her out of any mess she gets herself into. The entitlement mentality today is at epidemic and not toxic, but absolutely radioactive proportions. So having a job allows me to not feel obligated to show a man genuine gratitude. Well, what do I mean by that when I say that? Because it's not quite as simple as you might think it is. Not quite as simple as you might think. Because you'll have a situation here where a woman actually needs a man, and that's more often than not here. You have a situation where she needs a man. She's out here, she's stranded, she's stuck. Things ain't right. But you see, when someone has to admit that they are helpless and that you've got a power and ability that they don't have, just understand that actually can generate contempt in somebody because they felt helpless. Experiencing that situation of helplessness will actually make somebody that you have helped, instead of being grateful to you, they actually have contempt. They're actually angry at you. They're actually spiteful and vindictive. You've done them no harm. You've done them great good, but they're spiteful towards you now. Fellas, how many of you have had a chick, she was down and out flat on her ass, and you bailed her out, and she turned around either quickly or years later and repaid your generosity with scorn? How many of you have experienced that? In the chat room, Sandra Faye, you are very, very welcome here. This is the only place that sets it straight in that regard and tells people they can call me back for the results. So keep listening. We're going to get things even better for you. How many of the fellas here have experienced that? How many of you have experienced that? How many of you have seen that occur? How many of you have known that? You're sitting up here and you're doing what you think is the right thing. You are stepping in that position there, that leadership role, and she is spiteful and vengeful because you have been in that role. She is angry and upset because you have the ability to help her. You have the ability to lead, and it is incumbent, it's biological in the female that when a man is in that leadership position and he has proven his worth by demonstrating the ability to do things you cannot, biologically you shift into submission mode. But today the unnatural has taken over. The unnatural is the default, and now when a man takes a leadership position, she resists. So instead of being grateful in the situation, she is instead now angry. I shouldn't have to be grateful. I am resentful that I am grateful, that I should be grateful. I need a job because that will give me the ability to defy your authority, and it gives me the leeway to not feel obligated to show you genuine gratitude, even if you've earned it. Even if you've earned it. So just because you have demonstrated the genuine ability to produce, she is looking for a way to emotionally defy you. So first she wanted the ability to defy your authority. Now she wants the ability to not have to show you gratitude, because you see, when you have to show a person gratitude, that's something you have to admit to yourself. That's not really something you can fake to yourself. You know if you were out of options. You know if your luck had run out, and you know if this person was your lifeline to save you. You know that. And when somebody does that, you gotta acknowledge that. If nothing more, at least in and of yourself. So it's a very vulnerable position to be in. You have to be vulnerable to accept that. But if you have a job, then even if you need to acknowledge that, then you start saying, well, I don't have to. So it gives you the ability to be prideful. Today, women see their job as a back door to allow them to be prideful, stubborn, disrespectful, unappreciative, ungrateful, in your face. And we will get to the root cause of that here in just a few moments. Next, fallacies. My income. Why is it that she thinks her job can take the place of a man? Your job becomes your man. How so? Because my income is proof that I'm suitable to be with you. So She starts looking at the world from masculine terms. She starts looking at the world through masculine eyes. She starts looking at the world the way that men do. You start looking at the world because you want things to be quantifiable in that way, because you're trying to decide exactly how much you need to do so that you can get back to point number one, define the authority. My income is my proof that I'm suitable to be with you, not what you say it should be. You see, these are things that matter to an employer. These are personal hallmarks that matter to you. Your income is important to you. It is not important to a man. But since his needs are tertiary or even irrelevant, my income is my proof I'm suitable to be with you, not the way I treat you, not the way I talk to you, not the way I regard you, not the mistakes I've made. Not my inability or refusal to admit I'm wrong. That isn't what determines I'm suitable to be with you. Why? My income. Why? I make 75% of what you make. I make 95. I make more than you make. So that is my proof that I'm suitable to be with you. Anything else is ancillary. Anything else is optional. So you see, her job is the place where she validates herself, and her job is the place that she makes a priority of confirming her value, not to you. Your job is become your man. Next, your job is become your man, because I do not qualify for a protector and provider, so I will suffer and be my own. Let me explain something to you right now here. A woman cannot be a woman without a man. By definition, you need something to juxtaposition yourself against. If you do not have a man in your life, and I'm talking about on a regular, steady basis, as a woman, you will fall out of touch with who and what you are. A woman cannot maintain her feminine status and her feminine perspective without the constant company of a man. She can't do that. She can't do that. A woman is not able to do that. There's no way that she can do that. You have so many women out here who are attempting to do so, and they are not able to make that occur. And they're not able to make it occur because it is impossible. As a woman, you are unable to have any type of perspective on yourself with that happening. You won't have the ability to do that. So many of you have been raised by failed females for 2 and 3 generations now. 2 and 3 generations you've been raised by failed females. And they have sat here and allowed you to regurgitate the lie to yourself that you can confirm your femininity by in and of yourself as a microcosm. It can't happen. You need to have a man in your life on a consistent basis in order to be able to keep proper perspective of your feminine identity. You will lose your identity as a woman without a man in your presence. You cannot do that. Your job cannot do that. Your job makes you an androgynous being. Look it up. Your job turns you into an asexual being. Your job does not turn you into a woman, nor does it facilitate that. It can't do that. Not it just doesn't want to. Your job cannot do that. Your job has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with your identity as a feminine being. As a matter of fact, your job is an impediment and an obstacle to your feminine being. Your job is an obstacle to establishing your identity as a feminine being. It is impossible. It's impossible. So if your mother and your grandmother and your aunts are running around and whatnot and telling you that you can be the mother and the father, you can be protector and provider, no, you cannot, because a woman cannot give herself security. Your job is always going to fail to be your man because you as a woman cannot give yourself security. That's like buying yourself a birthday cake. You can't give yourself that validation. You can't give yourself security. By definition, as a woman, you understand that there are a lot of things in this world stronger and more dangerous than you. You know what your inadequacies as a woman are. As a feminine being, you are built to nurture. You're not built for war. You're not built for combat. Putting you in a combat situation shatters and breaks your psyche. As a female, you cannot function under a status of constant conflict, that constant tension. Males are psychologically and physically built for war. We're physically built for conflict. We are physically and psychologically armed and adapted to be able to handle a combative, hostile environment. As a female, that's not what you do. You need the environment to be safe, secure, non-hostile, welcoming, inviting. Why? Because you are vulnerable, and when you are pregnant or nursing, you are dealing with a completely vulnerable being. Therefore, you need an environment that is safe for vulnerable beings. Your psyche, your very being, doesn't allow you to operate in a hostile environment. Got some folks who may not like what I'm saying here. Make sure you hit that like button. Let your voice be counted on it. Make sure you like and share this. Very important. Because this is a message that is not being said out there and whatnot. Your winosphere is not talking about these things. That you can be protector and provider. Do you realize how much of your psyche has to be rubbed raw in order for you to say, I'm going to go out here and suffer? Let me just be very, very clear today. The workplace is filled with a bunch of females who have been rubbed into oblivion. They have fought all this time claiming that they wanted to get into the workforce. And as soon as they got in, bam, we need paid maternity leave. We need mental health leave. We need 3 months of vacation. They claim they want to be in the workforce. They claim they want to be the boss. And as soon as you put them there, first thing they start doing is looking for the exits. And it sounds funny until you realize we're trying to run a damn economy here and trying to take care of a society. It's not funny anymore. Somebody demanding something and getting in the way and screwing up the society for something that they don't even want. But they're doing enough to harm everyone around them. And this is the culture today. Everything is out of whack and out of balance. It is an unnatural condition. You cannot be protector and provider because as a woman, it is not in your psyche, nor your ability, nor your physicality to be able to do so. You cannot protect anything but the baby, and maybe you can protect the baby from another child, possibly another woman, but you cannot protect it from everything. The man has the ability to protect it from everything. It is your job to protect the baby. It is his job to protect you and the baby. Did you notice what I just said right there? His job to protect you and the baby. You are the last line of defense if something happens to him. But you already understand that if he's gone down, whatever it was that took him down is probably going to take you too. But it is your biological prerogative to fight to the death for your child. That is what you're supposed to do as a female. That's what you're supposed to do. But you understand as a woman, you cannot be chief protector. So when you go out into the workforce and you attempt to do your pale, frail, flimsy imitation of a man as protector and provider, it is always going to break. You can try to turn your job into your husband. It will fail every time, both physically and psychologically. These females either turn into these androgynous drones, simply circling around the office until the day that they're finally put out to pasture, or it breaks them. Or they surrender and see if they can go grab a guy, the last train leaving, before everything derails. And that's what they end up doing. One of those three. When your job becomes your man? Because my job gives me the ability to practice sexual promiscuity with limited consequences. Now, you remember some of the things I was mentioning here before. Why are these things important? It's important because we get you to this point right here. All my copycats and imitators, break out your notepads. You're going to need to write this part down so that you can reword it and integrate it into your programs next week. You guys weren't saying this before tonight. You'll be saying it after tonight. You're welcome. Sorry, but not sorry, for real, for real. A woman has a job because she wants to be protected from the consequences of sexual promiscuity, or at least to limit the blow of it. Understand something here. When we talk about chicks getting flued out, that used to not be a thing. If she did not keep herself together and keep her reputation together where she is in the town she's in, then she disqualified herself from being a wife. She had to take her reputation seriously. But today, when females have the ability to get a job, understand how many of the chicks, fellas, show of hands, how many chicks have you met who are very cavalier? I'm talking about to my cats who are 35 years old or older. When y'all were younger, females didn't used to talk about wanting to transfer. They get a job now, and the first thing they want to find out is, can I transfer? This heifer is living all the way out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Wants to know if they got a spot for her to transfer. Transfer where? Seattle, Washington. Do you know anybody in Seattle? No, but I figure I just want to go. No, it's because you spoiled your damn reputation where you are. You ruined your reputation in the town that you're in, and you're looking for an escape hatch. That's what you're looking for. So now they want to get these jobs. They want to get promotions. They go into nursing. Let me see if I can get some more credentials. They go into teaching. Let me see if I can increase my credentials. Yeah, let me see if I can work my way up the corporate ladder a little bit and then see if I can get a position that will transfer me out of my immediate geographic area. Why? Because I done slept with every nigga in the block, every nigga in town. Everybody knows my rep here. Got to get away. I got to get out of town. Got to get out of town. So they start looking for that now. Or because they know that men have standards. They know that men have standards. And so having a job gives you the ability to ignore men's standards. At least you tell yourself that. Remember, this is why I was telling you this before. If a man has standards, having that job may give her the ability to defy your standards, to ignore what it is that you want. So you want a woman who is a clean slate? I don't have to be a clean damn slate. I can get out here and throw these butt cheeks and make them do what they do. I can blow out 3 or 4 bastard kids, and I don't have to worry about your damn judgment. I don't have to worry about your judgment, because if you refuse to be my protector and provider, for those of you who are thinking I was just throwing these out at random, if I don't meet your standards to be protector and provider for me, because my sexual rap sheet is destroyed, I'm a disciplinary problem, I'm too old, I'm too out of shape, I'm too ignorant, I'm too foul acting, that's okay. I got a job, and that will give me the freedom to do whatever I want. I don't have to conform to your standards. Oh, I made some folk mad right here. My numbers dropped a little bit. I made some folks mad right here. If you agree with what you're hearing, testify. Hit that like button and testify. I want folks to see this going up in real time. How many of you have seen that? How many of the fellas listening to me right now, you understand you were dealing with chicks, she had a job. You go to these jobs where you got dozens of women working there and whatnot. sexual histories are as disgusting as they can be. Their sexual behavior is as bad as it can be. And you're like, what in the hell? Are they not concerned about it? Yeah, they are concerned about it, but only to the extent that it matters. If she feels as long as she's got a job, that will buy her time. As long as I got a job, that'll buy me time. At least that's what she tells herself. It's not realistic. It's not honest. It's not true. But she wants to believe that she's got the freedom and the leeway to defy you. I'm just explaining to you what the rationale is. It used to be that you didn't have to do those things. It used to be that you had to conform to what a man wanted. That was what it used to be. It used to be that. Now it no longer is. It no longer is. Now what they're doing is they're saying, you know what? I don't have to obey that. I don't have to listen. I can sleep with every damn body I want to. Y'all got chicks at your job done slept with every dude there, including the gay ones. She got 7 and 8 kids. She's supposed to be the head of human resources. Dudes making minimum wage done slept with the damn head of human resources. How many of y'all done seen that? How many of you seen that one? How many of you witnessed that? An entry-level employee done laid up, a couple of them done laid up with the head of human resources. Can I get some hands? Show of hands in the chat room. If you got your hand emojis. If you testify, if you believe it, if you done seen it, if you're a witness, let me see a hand emoji in the chat room. Let me see the hand emojis. Show of hands if you done witnessed that. Show of hands. Fellas working in the damn mail room. Done slept with a senior manager. The valets at the hotel done slept with the damn hotel manager. Oh, man. Substitute teacher done slept with the damn principal. Take a look at the hands going up. I'm not making it up. It is what it is. It is what it is. And so if she's got a job, she knows that if you are on point as a man, you're going to have a problem with that. You got standards. Well, if I got a job, that gives me the ability to conflict with your standards. That gives me the ability to defy your standards. This gives me the ability to engage in unlimited sexual promiscuity with limited consequences. And if things go bad in one city, she's got the nerve to say, well, don't worry, my job will subsidize my ability to relocate to a new place. That's the real reason you got so many females with Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, and done travel from one damn place to another. You've never seen so many females in your lives who know all the ins and outs of the airline business. How many fellas sitting here tonight, you got females, this heifer knows how to navigate that screwed up ass system they got on Southwest Airlines, which is a free-for-all damn system. She knows all the luggage and baggage fees for all the carriers. Spirit, Frontier, Delta, American, United, Qatar Air, Malaysian Airlines. She knows everything and got a passport. Yeah. And she's constantly, I'm talking about deadly serious, anxious all the damn time. Got to have a job, got to have a job, got to keep a job every time you turn around. Yeah, because she's got to finance her sexual adventurism. Oh boy, I'm hurting a whole bunch of damn feelings tonight. I'm hurting a whole bunch of damn feelings. She knows all the damn baggage fees, the baggage claims, the sizes. She knows everything. She knows the procedure at every major airport hub in America and a few outside the country. Yeah, because that's what the job is supposed to do. The job is supposed to finance that and facilitate that. You know I'm right. So if she screwed up her reputation in Atlanta, she can relocate to Dallas, relocate to Detroit, relocate to New York, Connecticut, DC. Yeah, they ain't afraid to move around. They ain't afraid to locate. They ain't afraid to do it at a moment's notice, at the drop of a damn dime. Men don't do that. You don't see a modern era today of males, and we're supposed to be the adventurous ones. These are females who got 3 and 4 kids and ain't afraid to just pack up and leave from the city they've been in for 20 years. Yeah, that's what happens when you done messed up your rep and whatnot and realize the job is no substitute for a man. So I will exercise my veto power. I'll get together with the job and see if the job will finance me relocating somewhere else so I can avoid your judgment. You know what your real motive is. Next up, oh man, your job's become your man. Because you tell yourself that your income is an offset, think of that as the side nigga, for my feminine deficiencies. I don't have to listen to what you have to say. My job is my contribution. And not just that, any objections or problems you might have with me, well, my job will be the offset. My job is the only thing I have to worry about. That's my offset. Whatever your problems are, I'm a size 22, got a bad attitude, disciplinary problem, these 3 little bastards running around here and whatnot, throwing an STD there, debt out my damn ears, doesn't matter what it is, my job is my offset. So I need to focus on that. And that brings me to the next one here. This is the reason that so many females today, you are single and you will die in that situation, because my job is my way of saying what I'm doing is more important than you. Fellas, how many of you have had a female talking to you and you were talking to her and mid-sentence she jumped up and said, I gotta go to work? How many of you have experienced that? How many of you have experienced a female mid-sentence jumped up talking about she gotta go to work? You're sitting there talking to her, and I mean, in the middle of your sentence, she's jumped up, turned around like you ain't said nothing. Yep, I gotta go to work. Like you're not even talking. Like you're not even there. How many of you have experienced that where you're sitting there talking to her and then she just spins in the middle of your sentence, she spins around. Well, I gotta go to work. Because that is her way of communicating to you that my job is more important than you. Understand something. Don't listen to what people say. Listen to what people do. Watch what they do. Watch what they do. Don't listen to their words. Listen to their actions. Listen to their actions. Now, just understand, you will be required to put her first at all times. Now, when it comes to you, you don't get to do that. You try that little one. How many of y'all had a chick who sat up here and got up and walked off mid-sentence while you were talking because she got to go to work, but she's sitting up here blowing up your damn phone while you at the job? Once done told you to be late for work, told you you ain't got to go in tonight. Testify. Testify. How many fellas listening to me right now, she done got up and walked away from you mid-sentence while you were talking, coffee in hand, television playing and whatnot. She done walked off from you, but spent the next 3 hours blowing up your damn, will gleefully blow up your phone at your job. Okay, that's just me talking. All right, fine. It's just me. That's just me. But that is her way of saying, understand something. Women understand. She can't really argue with you like that. What she does is she shows you when her job is her man. You know why? Because she is accountable to her job. In her mind, the job has immediate consequences. You see, that's the thing she really got to hold together. Why? Because that is the fallback position. That is the backup plan. It's the primary plan and the backup plan. You see, in reality, when a female makes her job her man, she doesn't think she's going to lose you. She knows she is. She doesn't really commit herself fully to being a part of what you're doing because she is always anticipating that the day is going to come where she's going to get booted out the door or she's going to get up and leave. So the job is always going to be the priority because she is already gotten it fixed in her mind that the day is going to come when you are not going to be there. She is never fully committed to you. She's never fully invested. She's fully invested in the job. That's going to be what's going to take care of her. Or at least she tells herself that until it grinds her psyche into toothpaste. But until then, lie. Until then, lie to yourself. In the chat room, she says, I can't miss my money. She ain't making no damn money, though. That's the problem. She's sitting there mired in debt. If she does have anything nice, she can't afford it. They're sitting up here. Most females today, ladies, let's just say it like it is because you all know it's the damn truth. Practically all of y'all are sitting under student debt, consumer debt, automotive debt. You're living beyond your means. To be a woman in today's society means to be a person living beyond your means. It is what it is. If you are a female in America today, particularly if you're a black female in America, but if you're a female in America today, you are living beyond your means. You are living beyond your means. If you got a credit card, it's maxed the hell out. If you have a car, it's maxed the hell out. Everything in your life is maxed the hell out. Your time is maxed the damn hell out. No time management whatsoever. That's why they got so many kids by so many dudes. They don't manage anything. There are no limits. It's only when the bow breaks that they stop doing it, but not because they want to stop doing it, it's because it's no longer feasible. But ladies, can we just keep it honest here? To be a female in today's society is to be someone living beyond your means. You and all your girlfriends, all of y'all are living beyond your damn means. 75% of luxury cars are leased. How many single moms have you seen driving a Mercedes E-Class or better, a BMW 5 Series or better? How many single moms have you seen driving a BMW X5? She work at the same damn place you work at. You know full damn well she can't afford it, but there she is driving it. And then a year later, you don't see that damn thing. How many females have you seen just bounce from one place, one down payment for a car to another one year after year? How many have you seen doing that? How many females have you seen with clothes that they simply cannot afford? Everything is, first they go off and get themselves into a material trap. And then once they're in the material trap, they start practicing material therapy to help them cope with the material trap that they've gotten themselves into here. That's what happens when your job is your man. You see, a man's position is also to comfort you as the woman and to give you security. Problem, a job can't actually do that. You see, a man, a real man, I'm talking about a flesh and blood human man, stops you when you are making mistakes. A job don't give a damn about the mistakes you make in your life. As long as you show up for work on time, they don't give a damn what's happening in your personal life. Your man does. Because you see, your man is invested in your personal life. Your job isn't. The manager at your job isn't. And that is why when you work at these places long enough, all you do is become Aunt Jemima. That's all you do. You just sit there and become the house mammy, but that's all you do. Because a job has no place for a woman. You can be a female employee, but there's no special dispensation for that. Unless you have some kids, and there's only so much of that you can do because you can only afford so much. Just understand the maternity leave hustle is one that breaks you because you sit up here and crank out the damn kids. Guess what? Each one of those kids is a bill. Each one of those kids is an open-ended bill. Not only that, it's a bill and a tax. It's a tax on your time. It is an open-ended tax on your time. So the more children you have, the more you're punishing yourself. Especially if you're a single parent, the more kids you have, you are destroying yourself. You are going to watch your most sacred, vibrant years. It's going to be like on an acid trip. You know, I remember there was an interview once that was done with Eddie Van Halen. And for those of us who remember Eddie Van Halen from the late 70s, early 80s, understand something. Very brief aside here for my musical heads out there and whatnot. We all remember Jimi Hendrix was hailed as the greatest guitarist in the world at that time because he had done things with guitar that they'd never seen folk do before. After Jimi Hendrix died, that mantle passed to Stevie Ray Vaughan, ostensibly. Well, after Stevie Ray Vaughan, they started looking for, okay, who's the greatest? And it was really a foot race between Eddie Van Halen and Eric Clapton. Well, they eventually had to just declare Eric Clapton. And why? Eddie Van Halen was a fantastic musician. If you remember, he played keyboard, he played guitar. He was a fantastic musician. But in the early 80s, remember, he did the guitars on Michael Jackson's Beat It on the Thriller album. Of course, you know, Jump in 1984. But Eddie Van Halen was also on constant drugs. Now, at the time, I think he was dating or married to Valerie Bertinelli. She was one of the it girls on TV back during the sitcom boom of the 80s. Eddie Van Halen was on top of the damn world and was strung out of his damn mind. He was on drugs 24/7. And they talked about the 80s and all the concerts and stuff and all the great things he did. And I remember an interview where Eddie Van Halen said, you know, people tell me about these things and they tell me about certain concerts and certain dates and say, hey, do you remember when this and that happened in this or that city? And it's really kind of painful because I don't remember. Like the late 80s to the 90s are kind of a blur for me. Because of the drug binges. He spent that decade in a drug binge. So all these great things that his fans talked about and music historians talked about, musical scholars trying to talk to him, Eddie couldn't even talk to you about it because he didn't remember any of it. Most of you, if you remember that stuff, you remember more than Eddie did. Imagine that. You're on top of the world. It's the prime of your life. It's the greatest time you're ever going to have. And not to remember everybody around you remembers it and you don't. It just blazed right by you. That's what it is to be the modern female today in this society. Women today, their greatest part of their lives blazes right by them. You go to your job, and let's just be very, very clear. You work at a job for 20, 30 damn years. How much of that do you actually remember? How much of that was actually memorable? Have you ever had your kids or your grandkids come over and they can't wait for you to tell them about what happened at your damn job? Like you came home from school? Get the hell out of here. There's an old saying, nobody ever wanted the words, I wish, nobody ever dies wishing their tombstone read, I wish I spent more time at the office. So when you invest in the job, when you make the job your man, just understand your time on this earth is limited. You are either going to invest those precious, irredeemable moments in a job, or you will because you think that's going to be your best rate of return, or you're going to invest in a man. But let me tell you something right now. If the highest rate of return that you can get for the breath of life is going to your job, ladies, if the highest rate of return that you can get for the breath of life, for every breath you breathe, if you feel like the place where you are most appreciated and get the highest rate of return is at your job, you live in a pretty damn pathetic life. Your life is, not it was, your life is pretty damn pathetic. If the place where you get the highest rate of return, the most satisfaction is at your job, that's the place where you're appreciated. That's the place where you feel like you're validated. That's the place you get that becomes your family. Your life is pretty damn pathetic if that's the best you could do. If you can sit up here and recite from every potluck y'all ever had at that funky ass job you were at, your life didn't amount for very damn much. I'm not being mean about it. I'm being honest with you about it. Your life didn't amount to very much. It didn't go very far. You know why? Because you're invested in the place that's not invested in you. Tell me one squirt of spit that job would give for you. Tell me how invested the job is in you. And yet you got a man who can sit up here and tell you about all the times that you have forsaken him for your job here. Ladies, you can invest in your job. It's a bad bet. It's a bad investment. It never turns out well. No woman ever got fulfillment from her job. It was everything outside of her job that gave her fulfillment. No woman ever got there. The most a woman can get from her job is sustenance. And any woman who tells you that she does get fulfillment at her job, she has been assimilated into the matrix. The only way that can happen is if they have stripped you of your femininity. As a female, the only way you can have your job be a source of the ultimate source of fulfillment in your life is if you've been stripped of your femininity, and I would argue stripped of your humanity. You have been turned into yet another cog in the machine. You have been assimilated into the Borg. You are just another drone. And everything else in your life that is supposed to give you fulfillment has been stripped and ripped away. It's been stripped and ripped away. And now that's what you got. That's what you have. Show me a female who's been working at a job for 30 years, and I will show you a female whose family has lost touch with her. Kids don't know what the hell's going on. Ain't no husband around. That's it. She's gone. That's it. Her job is her man. Her job is her life. She would come to that place. She's been institutionalized. She would come there for free because she cannot make any sort of identity for herself outside of it. She doesn't identify outside of that job. That's all she's got. That's it. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. There is no one else. There are no other options. That's all she's got. And that is a guaranteed recipe to be alone. It's a guaranteed recipe to be alone because you have to invest hours and years into a job, and those are hours and years that you cannot invest into a man, a family, or anything else. You are going to choose between having a life and having a job. If you make the decision, well, I need this security and whatnot, okay, just understand you have security. There's a lot of different ways a person can be secure. You can also be securely trapped. A person can be that too. A person can be securely trapped too. There's a reason why the workplaces today are starting to fill up. The workplaces are starting to look like the colleges. I damn well said it. The workplaces are starting to look like the colleges. You go to a Walmart, you go to a Target, what do you see? A bunch of females milling around. You go to these fast food places today, what do you see? A bunch of females milling around. You go to a hotel, you go to a resort, what do you see today? A bunch of females milling around. Those are your employees there. Whether they got kids or whether they don't. The workplaces are starting to resemble the colleges, and guess what? The college is the first step of the trap. A bunch of females walking out there telling you they got degrees. The degrees are useless. All you guys are a bunch of student loan debt. Bam, you've been caught by the system. The banking system has already got your ass locked and boxed. They got you locked down. Now you go into the workplace here. Now you're sitting around with a bunch of other fellow inmates. You're there with a bunch of other fellow female inmates. All of y'all sitting around swapping stories about your student loan debt, your baby daddies, your high car notes, your credit card bills. your apartment, your dreams of being able to buy a house, and then you buy a house and take a look at your finances, you're strapped. That's it. The bank's got your ass locked down for 30 damn years. And understand something, for those of us who have worked in the financial field, that is our security. Our security is in having a customer that we know ain't gonna go nowhere for the next 30 damn years. When you buy a house, all you just told us is you're gonna be a customer for the next 3 straight decades. The bank can begin making long-term decisions and long-term plans now. They know you're gonna be there for 30 years. Oh, the bank can make long-term decisions now. Did I ruin your dreams? Am I ruining some hopes out here? I must be. Well, let me go ahead and step all over the whole damn lot of them then. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code to the program that laid the foundation upon which all of your red pill, MGTOW, high value posers and frauds, alpha male imitators and copycats are going to steal everything you're hearing tonight and then go try to recycle it and reword it on their whack-ass channels. But if you've listened here tonight, you're going to go ahead and learn a lot in that regard here. So I want you all to go ahead. If you disagree with what you've heard, if you have something, if you're a fellow who has lived that, please keep your comments brief. But if you have lived that, this is something I want you to go ahead and tell us about here tonight, because most females today have made their job into their man. Most of them have done that, and they will wake up. Let's be very, very clear about that. They will wake up. They will have an epiphany. They will have a revelation. They will open their eyes. Not they might. They will. But usually it'll be when it's too late. I want some of the women to give me a call up here tonight. I want some of the women to go ahead and give me a call. And I want you to go ahead and explain if you live that. Have you lived that? Do you know what that's like? Is that something you've experienced? Have you seen what it is like that you've dedicated yourself to a job and you let that man get away? You let what's supposed to be your family get away. I want you to go ahead and call up and tell some of these younger females, because one of the biggest problems that we have is that the older females do not talk to the young females and warn them. They don't have that Jacob Marley from A Christmas Carol moment where you sit up here and admit the obvious, admit that you're a goner. You don't have the courage to admit that you're a goner, you're done for. And warn these younger females not to walk the road that you have. No, the older chicks are out here telling the young females, hey, right, don't you worry about getting you no man. Meanwhile, the young chicks who you told don't worry about a man, they go to the club. And the same old heifer that just told her that you don't have to worry about no man is she's strong and independent and in the club trying to pull a man at the same club you going to, the same job you're at, the same church you're at, the same get together that you're at. There she is, after telling you what you don't need. Understand that. We're going to go ahead and take a few telephone calls here. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Let me get caller from area code 910. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Dale from North Carolina.
Dale from where at in North Carolina?
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Dale from Greensboro, what's on your mind?
Jason, you spoke exactly to me, because I'm currently going through that situation now with my wife, soon to be ex-wife. She's listened to some of your other programs. You know, I married a woman that's excuse me, she's a problem. And, you know, her mouth gets her in trouble. That's what starts all the situations. She feels like she can just say anything to anyone without any repercussions. And it's showing on. It's it's showing in her life with me and other people in her family. Like,
how long you all been
her
together?
Job is everything. We've been together since 2014. We've been married since 2017.
How old are you all?
I'm 36. She is 30.
Okay, you're 36 and she's 30. So ostensibly, you got her in her 20s. If you all have been together now for 7 years, you got her in her 20s. So she would have been 23 years old at the time, about the time you all met.
Yes, sir.
Does she have any kids?
Yes, unfortunately, we do have one daughter together.
Okay, but did she have any children when you met her?
No, she did not.
Okay, she didn't have any children when you met her. Did she have any of the warning flags or warning signs that I tell you all about from the Bank of Female Withdrawals and Deposits? Age, attitude, weight gain, debt, baggage, uncoachable, entitlement, tattoos. Did she have any of the warning signs?
Yeah, she did have the warning signs, tattoos, uncoachable. Like, if you talk to her, the first thing she spits out is her degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in such and such. I also have a master's in that. She blurts that out like it's like she practices it just to tell people, and she leaves with that.
What is her degree in?
Counseling and addiction.
Yeah. So basically, one of these. She has a psychology degree, psychology and sociology.
Yeah.
And of course, as you all know, if you listen to me, all the posers and whatnot repeat it wrong. The problem with those degrees is they're useless. That's the real problem. At most, you're going to make $40,000-$50,000, and that's it. You can't really use it. You're not going to be able to elevate it. So there are plenty of jobs. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of jobs you can use it at, but there's nothing affluent you can use it for.
Exactly. And that's how much she makes. She makes about $45,000 a year. She's been at that job for 4 years, and I think she's only, increased her pay by $2,000.
Yeah, because the jobs jobs that look for that type of degree don't pay much. I mean, there's a very low ceiling on them. So it doesn't matter where you go, including the federal government. There's a lot of positions that want those types of, liberal arts degrees and, psychology degrees and sociology degrees, but they're all capped at a very low level. So folk will tell you about all the jobs out there, and there's plenty of jobs, but you're not going to get very far with it. Let me find out here, though, what is it that attracted you to her in the first place?
It was the education. This was before I started listening to your program. I wanted an educated woman. She had all that. She was in relatively good shape. She's cute. But it seems like once we got married, had the child, it seemed like those checks were checked in her box, and she just said, I'm just going to let it go. And it just went.
So she was in school when you met her?
No, she had just finished school when I had met her.
Oh, she had just finished so she was done with her master's when you met her?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a chick who had a master's. You thought you were doing something fly. Obviously, you knew what her master's was in. Obviously.
Yes.
Let me find out here. Her mother is her mother married?
Yeah, she is.
What's her mom like?
After listening to some of your programs, you described her mom perfectly. Her mom's a 3-time baby mama. She got with a young military dude. He ended up marrying her, and they're still together now.
Yeah, I mean, she probably got with him. Has she had children with him?
No.
Okay. Not really sure how she held him down then, but definitely the daughter is looking to replicate that to agree. If they think that they're entitled to it, is going to be a problem there. So certainly in this situation here, man, like I say, I mean, I hate to see it go like that, but in today's society here, if they feel like they got the ability to do that, have you told her about these issues?
Plenty of times.
What has she said?
She thinks the world revolves around her. It's no matter what I say, I'm the ish, I'm this, I'm that. Like, and I'm like, yo, you don't see how you come off to people. And like when you were saying that earlier about how when she's at her job, she needs to do her job, but when I'm working, I need to be focused on her. And that's the same situation when she had her little business. I would take out work, help her. I would, take my whole Saturday, help her, do her little business and help her out. But then when it comes to me, running my own little business, it's like, oh, I wish you pay more attention to your business. I wish you paid more attention to me than your business. And she says things like that. And I'm like, yo, don't you see that I help you all the time? Like, you don't even, ask to help me when I'm doing my business. And she just thinks the world revolves around her.
When you two met 7-8 years ago, what were you doing for a living?
I was in the military.
Okay, there you go. There it is. So she saw the mama's prototype. She knew the game plan to go for there. Before you, I'm not going to go too off into your business here, but before you, the relationship she had before you, how long was that?
I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years.
Now, is that what you know, or is that what she told you?
Yeah, that's what she told me.
Yeah, because she would have been, what she's telling you is from the age of 20 to 23, she wasn't having a relationship with anybody.
Yeah, she was, but she said it was an older man.
Okay.
And
That's what I'm trying to find out here is, though, I'm trying to find out the guy she was with before you, what was he like?
I don't think I know about him. He was an older man. He kind of took care of her. I'm not sure why they broke up, but that's all she told me.
Well, like I say, without knowing any specifics about that, if she has an entitlement mentality where that's concerned, she's going to be looking for the next person to take care of that. So in your case, she saw that coming. And, like I say, fellas, I try to educate you as quickly as I can. When you see the warning signs, don't ignore them. And I know there's a bunch of females out here who throw the hell off, and I get it, but you ignore the warning signs at your peril. These are not temporary things that are going to go away. These are not temporary aberrations that will eventually work themselves out. When a female is past the age of 21, just understand character flaws are going to be serious. They have to be taken seriously. And take a look at her mom. When you see points of convergence, core character traits, personality traits that are identical to her mother, I hope it's something you like. Because if it isn't, just understand that's baked into the cake. You can make minor tweaks to it, but you are not going to be able to make wholesale transformations. You won't. That's the biggest lie that men tell themselves. In your case, I can see why you might have thought, well, she's in her early 20s. Maybe I can mold this, but it's the warning signs were there. That there's typical immaturity, and then there is I'm emulating what I was taught. I'm emulating what I was raised. And what you got is what her mother raised her to be. Right down to looking for niggas in the military. Right down to that. So she knew the game plan. She knows her limitations also. She knows that she could have gotten somebody at a higher position at one of these places she worked at. She knows she doesn't qualify for that. So she was like, okay, my mama done taught me how to pull a dude from the military, and I know how to psychologically maneuver with them. So let me go ahead and show you what happens. And that's what she did. That's where we're at.
Yeah, you're correct. After listening to your programs, you broke down all the red flags that I missed. I was ignorant on those red flags. I had no clue to look for them. I'm pretty sure a couple of guys, my age, back then, 10 years ago, you didn't have any clue of what those signs were until you started preaching it. And I'm just dealing with this situation, and it's tiring. You got a hard-headed woman who doesn't understand. You're $100,000 in debt with a master's degree that's capping out at $50,000, and you think that you're just going to go out here and upgrade yourself and live your best life. Like, we're separated now. She lives in an apartment, and she's always complaining to me about, oh, I got to pay bills. She was just complaining the other day about how she only got a 1% raise at her job.
Yeah, but that's kind of moot now. She got a dude in the military. If she divorces you, your benefits, man.
I mean, I'm out of the military, so I got out in 2016.
Were you were out of the you were out of the military before you married her?
Yes.
Okay, well played to that extent anyway. I'm not sure if she can still have access to your benefits. I'm not going to say necessarily she can't, but in that regard, at least, it'll make it a little bit harder. But certainly, brother, like I say, I never advise people to get divorced. I never advise them to do that. Certainly, if you all haven't gotten counseling, I definitely think that's due. In her case, though, like I say, it's just if you think that your degree or your job matters, it really doesn't. And at her age now, at 30 years old, it's just like whatever she is right now, a lot of that's going to be baked in. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get a call from area code 813. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Tony, and I'm calling from Tampa.
Tony from Tampa. What the hell are you talking about?
What do you mean?
If you don't quit playing on my phone.
Well, I'm calling in regards to something that you said earlier. I was told to call in. And it's in regards to women feeling contempt for people who help them or for men when they help them.
All right, Tony, whatever you want to call yourself this week, what did you say in the chat room wrong?
I said that sometimes it can be that men, yes, they're in a position to help, and you were saying that the women go off and they do something or like do some kind of betrayal or whatever. But the point that I was making is maybe because the men are in a position to help and the women aren't stable or whatever, they feel like they can take advantage of the situation or become abusive. And so the woman just, tries to tough it out until she's in a better position.
Okay,
and
female, understand something. The women who usually use that line you just used, they never can show you any man that they have happily been able to live with in harmony in their whole damn lives. Now, there's the problem with that statement. Everywhere they go, everybody they deal with is supposedly bad, abusive. No, there's only one common denominator in all those relationships, the female. So you're supposed to be vetting the guys that you're with. You have a reason for getting with them. But maybe you're a female who just don't get along with nobody. Now, there's the variable that they don't want to discuss or entertain. What if you're just a female who is broken, you are suspicious, you are a person who's shifty and devious, and so you just assume everybody else is shifty and devious too, so you deal with everybody in a shifty, shady, devious manner, and then you turn around talking about, oh, you can't trust nobody.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I understand what you're saying. Okay. Also, there are people who take advantage of the ability to be able to help. And they kind of like, I guess, like use it as a carrot or dangle it over someone, over someone's head. Like, okay, I can help you. How about this or how about that? Or they treat you any kind of way.
No. We're not going to do that. Well, they dangle it as a carrot and then they treat you any old kind of way. Explain what treat you any old kind of way means.
Like, let's say if someone is like, okay, like it's say, okay, I need you to take care of this, or can you?
No. Not take care of this. Not take care of this. Specifically, what is this? Specifically.
Okay. Can you pay my car note? Can you pay my rent? Or whatever, something like that. Because
go ahead.
You can't you're in a position where you can't really take care of everything at that moment. And the person is like, okay, yeah, I can do it. I'll take care of it. And then when they do it, they treat you like badly. And they're like,
no. Define treat you badly.
Like cheating, coming home any time of the night, like breaking into your house, like all those.
Okay, let me explain a few things here to all the women listening right now. Now, listen to what she just said. Well, if you got a man who pays your rent and pays for your car, and then he treats you badly. Okay, how is he treating you badly? Well, he cheats. Excuse me. If he's paying your rent and paying your damn car, what in the hell are you expecting? He's financing your life. What is he supposed? Whoa! No. Now he can take on the unlimited exposure and the unlimited liability of financing your life, but you're supposed to set the limits for what he does after that. Now listen to yourself for a few moments. Now you ladies sit up here and give more leeway and give more authority to your job than you do to the man who pays your way. Think about that for a few moments. Y'all will sit up here and let these white men at your job talk to y'all crazy, sit up here and pass you over for promotions. That's treating you badly. Y'all will sit up here and let these white folk that you work for, you'll sit up here and let the white folk at your job treat you any old kind of way, and you go back every day for years. Then you got a man who's paying your way, and then you want to sit up here and give him grief over allegedly, quote unquote, cheating. And by the way, we won't ask what your role and what your factor was in that. Because if he went through all the trouble of paying your rent and paying your car, he's made an investment in you. A man doesn't make an investment in a woman without expecting something in return. If he is going somewhere else to reap the benefits of the investment, that's because he's communicating to you the damn investment went bad. It's one thing if you're talking about a dude who just flew through, but we're talking about a fella who was paying your damn bills, the investment went bad. So what did you do to make the investment go bad? And do you have a track record and a habit of going bad all the time? And then pointing to him, well, I mean, he just get you your thing going bad with it. I don't know why he can't just tolerate that better. Get the hell out of here. Your jobs get a perfect model citizen, no matter what they do. Customers come in and talk to you crazy. You take it for years and call it professionalism. They'll come in there and cuss you smooth, slap the hell out, and you won't say a word, and you'll call that professionalism. But with your man who pays your way, the car you drove to work in today, he paid for. The roof over your head when you get back home, he paid for, and you treating him worse than your customers. The customers get more leeway than him. Y'all's priorities ain't just out of whack. Your priorities are completely thrown the hell off. Really?
Well, may I say this? If you're in a relationship with someone and you're supposed to care about each other, you're supposed to support each other. When somebody is telling you, oh, you're not shit, oh, you're not this, you're not that, on a regular basis, when somebody is doing drugs, that's not a healthy relationship.
Okay, why are you, are you a drug user?
And no, I'm not. A drug
Okay,
user.
then why would you get into a relationship with someone who is involved in a drug lifestyle if you yourself are not a drug user?
People hide things, and then you
No,
find
you
out
you can't.
later
Okay, you
that,
can't.
okay, this
You
person
can't
does
hide.
drugs.
No, you can't hide drug use. Drug use is one of those things you can't really hide. That's not really something you can conceal. Because they got to get lit.
Eventually,
They got to get lit. They can't hide that. They're going to have to get lit. And the better they feel and the more comfortable they feel around you, the more often they got to get lit. So that's not really going to be something they can hide. That's going to be something you overlook and you sort of be like, well, that's them doing them. And then you get comfortable. Okay, you can't blame somebody for being what they were when you met them. You can't blame them for that. You got to take that seriously. If this person drinks, you got to take it seriously. If this person does drugs, you got to take it seriously. If this chick slept with 30 guys before she met you, you got to take that seriously. And if this person is involved in a lifestyle that you yourself are not, whether it's religion, whether it is vocation, whether it is substance abuse or substance use, forget abuse, and that's not your steez and that's not what you do, you can't sit up here and say, well, take a look at all the other wonderful attributes they have and, well, I guess I can deal with the drug use. No, y'all make decisions. Let's just be very, very clear. Females are very inquisitive and very thorough about men when they want to be. When a female is only interested in a couple of character traits and as far as she's concerned, screw everything else, then that's when all of a sudden it gets superficial. But let's be clear, females, when they want to know a bunch of stuff, I mean, y'all know every damn thing about the state, how child support works. Y'all are damn legal scholars when you want to be. Y'all are legal scholars when you want to be. And yet, you're going to sit up here and tell us that you couldn't vet a man. You all can tell us all the ins and outs of child support, all the ins and outs of alimony. My dudes in the military, they can tell exactly how long you got to be with the guy so you can get full benefits. What the divorce alimony standards are from California to Calabasas. And yet then you get on the phone and start pleading ignorance. Ooh, I didn't know how to look the man over here. Yeah, oh, please. You all know what you want to know. So let's be very, very clear. Y'all turn the damn Magnum PI when you want to be. But the only time you don't do that is when you don't want to know. It's like, okay, he's got what I'm looking for. Done deal. Let's take him. But let's be clear. If you didn't ask from the beginning and you weren't being inquisitive about that from the beginning, it's because it wasn't a priority. That's what it really is. Hey, he's paying for my car and my apartment. I don't give a damn what he's doing beyond that. Okay, there you go. You got what you paid for. But let's be very, very clear. You didn't make that decision without your eyes being wide open. You made that decision with your eyes wide open. You really did.
Okay, I will respect what you're saying, but he told me that he didn't do that anymore.
Okay.
And I believed it. And then things unfolded, and then
Thank
I thought,
you.
okay.
I'm so glad
well,
you said that.
you're still
Now, wait a
doing
minute.
drugs.
He said that he didn't do what anymore?
He said that he didn't do drugs anymore.
Okay.
We were talking about the past.
Yeah, there you go.
I said, well, okay, if that's in your past.
Okay, there you go. And understand why you said that, because you got a shady past. And so you just want to believe, okay, well, my past is messed up and his is messed up. So he'll have to give me a pass for mine because he's screwed up too. Okay, well, there you go. You shake hands with the devil. So let's be very, very clear. As I said, you made that decision with your eyes wide open. You were not ignorant. You knew what you were getting in.
That is true.
You knew what you were.
True. I'll
Okay.
give you 100% with that.
Thank you. So nobody was taking.
But
you
I
can't,
really believe that he didn't do it anymore.
Okay, you can't, ma'am, if a person has used drugs once, they will do it again. Just like if a dude has slept with other dudes, don't be surprised when you catch.
Don't say that.
Don't be surprised when you catch him with Jesse Smollett. Don't worry. Don't be surprised when you find him in a hotel room with Jesse Smollett somewhere. You can't sit up here and say you were taken by surprise. So no, we're not talking about.
Okay.
We're not talking about he wore mismatched socks to work. We're talking about drug use. That takes work. You have to skirt the law and everything. You're taking jail chances. That's not something that a person does on a whim. That's because that's who they are and that's their lifestyle. So no, ma'am. When he told you that's my drug use is in my past, you're supposed to be like, oh, well, I'm so glad. I'm sure the next woman will appreciate that. That's supposed to be the answer. You bypass that because you got to take a look at your bills and take a look at your rent and be like, well, I'll be damned. Somebody else needs to be handling this. The other issue, the other issue is you got to take a look at yourself and then say, okay, well, this is about me, that this is the only type of fella I qualify for to pay my bills and my car note. Because there's other options for that. So if this is the best I'm getting, my game ain't tight. Something's wrong over here if this is what I qualify for. Or at least if this is the best I qualify for, maybe I need to consider what my options are.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll give you that to a certain point.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Call of America 504. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Michael from New Orleans.
Michael from New Orleans. What's on your mind?
Jason, most of these broke bitches, bro, they gonna have contempt for any dude that's doing something for them. You know, I had a little broke down, beautiful ass bitch. You know, find a bitch a temp tag for a car, a battery, a alternator. You know, the little petty shit. And at the end of the day, the whole ended up hating my guts. You know, so I came to a conclusion that you just got to leave them broke down bitches alone altogether. You know.
Well, you know, first of all, you can't deal with bad luck broads. And as men, we have to be careful about that because biologically, and it's tough when you have to go against your biology. As men, we are protectors and providers by nature. It's in our biology. That's not something we get to, choose. That's not something we get to pick. That's just who you are. That's who you are. So when you have a situation where somebody is taking advantage of that, your biological prerogative, it puts you in a tight bind. That puts you in a bind where you have to deny that because as a man, you're wired to do it. Now you have to start doing some unnatural stuff. That's the problem. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a call from area code 901. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, how you doing, Jason? This is Derek from Memphis.
Derek from Memphis, if you're on speaker, you need to take your phone off speaker, sir.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just sitting outside.
Okay, Derek from Memphis, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm calling in to speak on the subject earlier. You were talking about how some of these women stay at their job so long that they pretty much come indoctrinated in the company as if they're part of the furniture. Be there so long that you think they're in prison. They actually become robots.
Well, you know what? I would like to amend that. It's not like a prison, it's like a plantation. It's like a plantation. They give you a job, they give you a role, they give you a position. Hell, they make you feel like a member of quote unquote the family. When I was speaking to Richard Spencer and Jared Taylor, those are the terms that they were gleefully talking about when defending the plantation systems in America, that the plantation owners in America had a, quote, paternalistic view, a paternalistic relationship with their African slaves. So a lot of them get drawn into that, man, and you can see how that can play on them. I was the person who... years ago, when they talked about Jerry Sandusky, I was the person who had revealed to people about the psychology behind that the Jerry Sanduskys of the world go off looking for the little black children of these single moms. These coaches at these college systems know these are young boys who grew up with no fathers, raised by slutty-ass hood rats. It's going to be very easy for him to step in and assume that father position. That paternalistic position, it's going to be very easy for him to step in and assume that. So if you're dealing with a female who comes from a screwed up family dynamic and whatnot, never had a father in the home in that manner, no stable home environment, no masculine image, she gets to the job, just understand a corporation can have a masculine image. 95% of your corporations are run by males. And if you work at the corporation, you're going to see who it is. They're going to have a picture somewhere and whatnot. That can be good enough. That can be good enough, gives her something to focus on. They give you your daily bread. They give you structure. They give you family members. They give you a routine. They give you benefits. Hell, they give you discipline. They give you a purpose and status. So yeah, man, it becomes very easy to get indoctrinated, very easy to get inculcated, very easy to get institutionalized. And then you start reframing. This is the part you're talking about. You start reframing and restructuring your life to suit what the job is. Now, what you're supposed to be doing for a man, you're supposed to restructure your life for your man. You instead wind up restructuring it for a job. So the car you buy gets restructured to fit whatever the job pays you. Your off time gets restructured for whatever work hours you have for the job. Your time with your children gets restructured for whatever the requirements of the job are. And then last but not least, if there's a man, he's got to take whatever scraps are left over. The job gets that first and foremost. And they are comfortable to give that away, at least until they get in their 30s. Then they start realizing I ain't getting any younger, and I have already committed away my best years and best time to this corporation. So on the one hand, she knows that's not really a viable long-term strategy. But on the other hand, she's scared to let go, and she's so deep off in the game and heavily invested in it, she doesn't feel like she can walk away. It becomes easier to just stay there and fry. It really does. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 832. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Robert Higgins. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm the one in the chat and a patron supporter.
All right, Robert from Houston. What's on your mind?
What I've also seen is, and I've been a witness to it, and this just happened a couple of days ago, where, I've talked to you before, you know what I'm saying, explaining, my daughter's mom or whatever. There was an opportunity presented itself for her oldest daughter to get a Google position. Her mother is fighting tooth and nail to keep her from getting that position. That position is paying like $20 to $25. I helped her to try to get on with Google and what have you, because I told her that, she's not comfortable, working a penny ante job. So what I did was I told her to fill it out. They called her back. And I told her to get a resume, because the guy literally called her back and said, look, all you need is a resume, and I'm gonna call you back. And she used my name as a reference because my name is good. Her mother is refusing to help her, to put her in a position to where she can make money. And it's like, not only what you said was true earlier, that the fact is they don't want anybody to surpass them either. Like, they want to stay comfortable in the position, but if anybody else that's surrounding with them, they want them to surround them in that sisterhood of failure. And I just hate to see her daughter go down the same road, and she's not trying to go down that road because she really does listen to me.
Well, I certainly hope she does, because the truth of the matter is, let me see now, the daughter is, the mother is how old now?
The mother's 35.
And the daughter is how old?
And the daughter just graduated, 18.
Okay. Teen moms and these 35-year-old grandmamas. And this is your woman?
No, this is my daughter's mom. We had talked maybe a couple of episodes when I asked you in reference to doing the show based on fathers and daughters, so daughters don't turn out that way.
Okay. Well, definitely, like I say, I mean, this is your daughter and everything. You got to put her on the right path. A bunch of these chicks out here today, brother, they're self-destructive. They are ready to just as far as they're concerned, they've already missed the boat. Like for you, for example, I mean, she's 35 years old, bruh. She wasn't able to make it work out with you. She knows there's not going to be another Robert coming. At 35, she knows there's not another one. If there is, it's going to be a miracle. So, yeah, she wants the daughter to keep her expectations low. She wants the daughter to stay around. Why? Because she doesn't have another option. I've talked about this several times now. A lot of these women out here are convincing their daughters to become their lifelong companions. If there isn't going to be a man, I need the daughter to stick around. Don't be trying to move out the state. Don't be trying to do anything like that because I need you here to take care of me. Well, Mom, Dad's supposed to be here to take care of you. Yeah, well, that didn't work out, so I need you to stick around and take care of me. And they start doing the necessary things to sabotage the children, sabotage particularly the daughters. It's particularly the daughters, unless the boys go off and join the NBA or something. But it's particularly the daughters that they raise for the purposes of keeping them, quote, responsible and capable. Yeah, so when worse comes to worse, the daughter will still be living in town, living in the state, working a nearby job because Mom needs her for the backup plan. Robert's not going to be there. Her prospects of getting another man are slim to none. The daughter is here. Let's see if we can cripple her enough so that she's a reliable source of comfort for the future.
The Golden Girls.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sitcom, but truly, Golden Girls, what's that, Living Single? We can go down the list, but yeah, you wake up one day and if you want to know what was happening, it's not accidental. These women understand the perils of allowing the children to get too far away. When she met you, she was in her she was 18 years old or so. When she met you, that's a long ass time ago. And she's facing the reality now. Like, for example, what does she do for a living? The mother.
I think that she works at a senior health facility for seniors.
She's a CNA. So, there you go. So she hasn't even done enough to pursue her career path for herself. She hasn't even succeeded in turning her job into her man. So, yeah.
And I told her to do this years ago, and now she's doing actually what I told her to do years ago.
Yeah, at 35. Yeah, now that there's no other option, now that she's completely exhausted all of her other options, bam. Now she wants to try to sprint at the last minute. And that was because, now you all are not married, correct?
No.
Be honest, Robert. When was the last time you slept with her?
I haven't slept with her in years.
Okay, years ain't a number.
About 3.5, 4 years.
There you go. It's only been a few years before the last time you slept with her. Okay, but understand the side effect of that, okay? The side effect is you just like, look, ain't nobody else answering the phone right now. You'll do in a pinch. Ain't nobody else answering the phone. But what you need to understand is that every time you slept with her, she was telling herself that she was working sexual sorcery and she was eventually going to be able to work you back in. Now, you weren't thinking of it that way. And see, when she was in her younger 20s and she could get 2 or 3 other dudes to answer the phone, it was different. Understand something. Women don't take men seriously until the phone stops ringing. They don't really believe fat meat. Ladies, can we just keep it real with y'all? Y'all don't really believe that men will pull your coat on you and will pull the rug out from under you until the phone stops ringing. You all don't believe when we say it. They seriously take everything for granted. Women don't truly believe that this ride will ever end until the phone stops ringing. When they start becoming invisible, when men start visually, actively treating them in a different manner. They're not holding the doors for you. Understand something. Women are very sensitive to male attention. They're very sensitive to it. Women are sensitive to if men are looking them up and down. That's one of the things that women look for, because women know that if they're able to get a man's interest without really trying that hard, then the chances are better than not that she can probably go ahead and may be able to access something different, maybe able to access more. So those are gauges that they look for. Women gauge men's interest. They gauge men's unsolicited interest, because that tells her that defines for her proximity to your resources. At least, speculatively. It defines the proximity to resources. So when they are very, very sensitive to the attention that they receive and if they're receiving any attention, which means they're also hypersensitive to when they stop getting that attention. When they know that men aren't looking them up and down anymore, when they know that men aren't interested, then they know you have just defined her proximity to the resources. You've lost it. So they're hypersensitive to that. As men, we don't have that type of sense because we're not looking for proximity to somebody's resources. That's not our primary way of getting through life. So we don't approach the world or have that type of hypersensitivity. Females do. And as long as they can get that attention, they're like, okay, I'm good. When they stop receiving it, oh hell, everything just hit the fan. And in your case, as long as you were sleeping with her, she was telling herself, I got an option. Now let me find out, are you with somebody now?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm just stacking my paper, listening to what you told me, working on my credit and tripling my income. Took the IT course. I listened to the Get Your Weight Up, the IT thing.
Very
I'm
good.
averaging about a 92% in my IT, and I'm on to the IT part.
Very good here. Like I say, folks, we don't just talk about this right here. If you want to know if you want to listen to high value posers, go over there. If you want to become high value, this is the place. But in your case, brothers, laying up with her is what led her to believe that you were going to come back, that she had the option of getting you. Somewhere in the last couple of years, it's gotten through to her that that's not going to happen. Somewhere in the last couple of years, she has accepted that's not going to occur and that you really do mean it through your actions, not your words, but that your actions. She's like, this nigga really ain't coming back. He really is like, ain't gonna do nothing. Now she's starting to make some different moves because she has accepted that you're serious. You're not coming back. And that's what it needs to be. Where your daughter is concerned, though, yeah, Mom doesn't need to have any influence in that regard right now. This girl is only going to be 20 once. She's only going to have this opportunity in her life once. It gets harder every year. You know from your own personal experience, it gets harder every year to have to go back and retrain and retool. It's better if you can get this at that earlier age where you've come from that classroom environment. So shifting those gears is a lot easier than it is at 30 or 40. And don't let the mom get in the way of that. Don't let her get in the way. You're doing the right thing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 252. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dragon Manifest here, Jason, from right now Magnolia, North Carolina.
Dragon Manifest, what's on your mind?
What's up, brother? Man, you be on point, man. I can't argue with nothing you say. But it's a couple things I want to ask you and a couple things I want to say. The first thing, women over 35, forget it. I think it's just a wrap. 99.9% of them is just a wrap.
True.
But now women between, say, 21 and 35, who are on these jobs, whatever, they just got out of college, coming up in life and everything like that. Do you feel that, us men that, are good men and able to work with women, because of course personalities got to blend. Do you feel we have a chance at working with these women? Because here's the thing. I really don't like personally my woman to work outside the home. But of course, we in the modern times, women going to work outside the home. But she still needs to take care of her duties at home as a woman, just like a man need to take care of his duties as a man, be a provider and a protector and a producer. So my thing is, do you feel like it's a wrap period? Even women between 21 and 35.
Okay, brother, your satellite phone keeps staticking on you here, but about as far as working in the home and whatnot, and you're blowing into it, so ease back on the CPAP machine. As far as let's deal with this in parts here. As far as their age is concerned, and I don't know if you're in a wind tunnel or not. I'll try it one more time. You're blowing into the phone, so ease up on it here. We're hearing all that. If they're
okay,
females over the age of 35, just understand something. Once they get in their 30s, they're set in their ways. So whatever you're getting, as I told the previous callers, I've been telling people all along, you better be happy with whatever it is because that's what you bought. That's what she's going to be. Don't sit up here and tell yourself you're going to get a 35-year-old and start transforming her. At 35, she is not moldable. She's not coachable. So you better be happy with what you have. The idea that you can take a younger female, here's the reason that most of these younger females are going to be uncoachable, and I've touched on this before. Fellas, the reason that most of these younger females are uncoachable is because most of you don't have an agenda. I just got to keep it real with all of y'all. Most fellas out here don't have an agenda other than laying up. If you don't have a stable structure of resources and a stable agenda to bring her into, there's supposed to be a built structure for her to move into. It can't be a structure under construction. Now, it can be a structure under elevation, but it can't be a structure that the foundation hasn't been built yet and whatnot. We haven't got the contractors out to wire it up. It can't be that. Too many fellas want a female who's going to behave. Okay, well, she's not getting with the program. Problem, you don't have a program. And there's a bunch of guys who don't understand. A woman needs structure. You see, the reason why this worked for your fathers and your grandfathers is because there was a structure in place, and she had to acquiesce to that and accommodate that when she moved in. But you can't sit up here and just say, okay, here's what I want, but there isn't a stable structure. Remember, the job gives her that. Going back to this before, if you want to know why it is for a lot of fellas, the job wins out over you, it's because the job provides structure. The job provides rules. The job facilitates all that. So when you're lacking that, just understand you're leaving her open to freestyle. And that's not what you want it to be. You want it to be very set, very rigid. You want to make sure there are very defined boundaries. And too many fellas have a list of demands and desires, but no defined boundaries for her to work within. So that is why the ability to pay for things, provide things, have a vision, have some assertiveness, have a strict ambition. There's something that you're doing every day you get up. She doesn't have to guess about what you're doing. She knows what you're going to be doing in the morning. That's very, very important because that's what provides structure. And too many fellas don't have that. So the reason why a lot of these young females don't really fall in line is because a lot of these fellas talk to them, and in reality, it doesn't take her too long to figure out, oh, you don't actually have a plan. You're just kind of winging this as you go along. You certainly want to lay up with me, but you ain't really got a plan. And there's where the problem comes in. So fellas will have a lot easier time getting what they're looking for if they get themselves together first. Because remember, I tell you, I'm the guy who told everybody here, don't talk about what you bring to the table. As the man, you're supposed to be the table. You see, when you walk into a restaurant, there's a reason that people don't sit on the damn floor. They don't sit on the floor. When you walk into a restaurant, you know you're in a damn restaurant. If she's looking for a relationship, she knows why she walked into this place. And when you see the table, that table ain't good for nothing but sitting down at it. So you don't have to ask why I brought the table. I am the table. If I can get you to come to the table first, then that works. But as far as like females over the age of 35, in today's times, man, I just got to tell you, for the most part, we're really going to have to write all of them off. And that's going to be a tough pill for them to swallow. But relationship-wise, really, Generation X is pretty much done. Generation X is done. The millennials, they're pretty much done now. The millennials are pretty much done. And now it's whatever Generation Z or whatever you want to talk about after that and whatnot. Now you got to look towards that at this point. As far as I'm concerned, what we're doing here is we are facilitating the retirement of Generation X and the millennials. What we're doing now is really having a conversation for that generation after them who is not tainted, who is not set in their ways, who are not stuck on stupid, who are not so comfortable in their failures that they don't want to come out of the cesspool, constantly having the same problems over and over again. Because if a chick got 3 baby daddies, she's done. If a chick is married to her job, she's done. If a female has never gotten corrected for her daddy issues, she's done. Right now, you need some folk who are not set in their ways. It's not baked into the cake, and you still got the ability to influence that. That's where we're at now for men of all ages, really, to be totally honest. And ladies, I'm just telling you the truth right now. The reason why women in their late 30s and 40s cannot get married today has not a damn thing to do with the fact that you didn't try to do it when you were in your 20s, although that is a powerful factor to it. The reason that you can't get married in your 30s and 40s today is because the men in the 30s and 40s don't want you. And you know that you don't want to marry the guys in their 20s because he's not going to be protector and provider. So the men who can be protectors and providers are not looking for chicks in their 30s and 40s anymore because everybody knows the deal with you. And you're not going to fool anybody. Everybody knows the deal. So a man who has the ability to protect and provide, a man who has the ability to pay for things, he's not going to take you because everybody has compared notes. This isn't something that men today are trying to figure out. Ladies, we're all on the same page now. Some dudes are still stupid enough to play Russian roulette, but for the most part, we're all on the same page now. So it doesn't really matter where you go. You can go from Houston to Hawaii. It's going to be the same thing everywhere you go. If you're a female in your 30s, the man, once you say your age, he knows your life story. Oh, I hurt some feelings. My numbers dropped when I said that. I hurt some feelings when I said that. Yep. But it's the damn truth, ladies. It's the truth. You do not have to like this. This is breaking your damn soul. But it is the truth. When we men in our 40s, we ain't looking for a chick in her 40s because we know you're set in your ways. You have done too many things too often, and we know it's not going to change or there will be micro changes, but there will not be macro changes. And even if there were, what's the return on our investment? So just understand, for the most part, that's where it is today. And we as the men have done you a great favor since the baby boomer generation. Because as men, we were sitting up and our code of conduct said that we don't really fool with younger chicks. That was a code of conduct that we as men maintained. We were the ones who said, okay, if I'm in my 30s or 40s, I ain't really trying to fool with no chick in her 20s and whatnot because she isn't grown enough or she's not seasoned enough. Problem, the seasoned chicks want to defy you. There's the problem. So we sat up here and just said, well, the white guys and Latinos, let them go ahead and deal with that. We're not really trying to do that. I'm just letting you know, ladies, tough decisions have to be made. Tough decisions have to be made. And that's a viable option for men. It's not a viable option for you. A woman in her 30s or 40s dating a dude in her 20s, all he's offering you is sex. He is not offering you protecting and provision. The moment you lay up with him, that's the maximum provision that he feels he needs to provide. Because that was all it took to get you in the bed. That was it. That was it. The fellow who can buy you a house ain't trying to sleep with you, and the fellow trying to sleep with you can't buy you a house. So you can sleep with a guy in his 20s, but all that's doing for you is being a layup. For a man, he can start a family with a female in her 20s. Just like he can start one with a female in her 30s or a female in her 40s if she's still able to bear children. The only difference is one of you is very coachable and the others are going to be hardly coachable. So that's basically where we are now. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a call from area code 901. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Jason. This is David from Memphis.
Okay, you are on speaker. Please take your phone off. Okay, David has been abducted. Caller from area code 434. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jay Higgins, calling from Tarboro, North Carolina. How you doing today?
All right, Jay Higgins, what's on your mind?
I have to concur with your assessment about the women of the millennial generation Y and Z and everything, because I am in that generation, And my mother, who's in the baby boomers generation, I be telling her, she's like, yo, she be telling me, Mister, you gotta gotta be more patient, be more reasonable, etc. And so I showed her that video about Brittany Renner talking about stepdad season. And after the fact, I told her, I said, Mom, I might be sounding hard, unreasonable, looking for perfection, etc. But that kind of mindset, what she just said, is a lot more prevalent than what you think. And this is the shit I got to deal with.
Well, yeah, I mean, for you young cats and whatnot, I mean, but it's just for anybody, because Brittany's not really young like that. She's like 27 years old. But, I mean, at this point right now, just understand something, though. P.J. Washington didn't have an agenda when he met Brittany. He didn't have an agenda. She got him young. I understand that. She got her R. Kelly on. She got him young, and she was able to, wrangle him before he realized what his value was. But just understand, as men, if you really want to have your strongest ability, you're going to have to be able to have an agenda. PJ didn't have one, and that's where he's at. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 240. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, put down the crack pipe. Take the crack pipes out of your ears.
This is Juliet. I'm calling from Columbia.
Oh, good God. Juliet doesn't have the crack pipes in her
I
ears.
know you know what?
She got both of them in her mouth. That's where she's at.
You know what? This is so funny because I had a feeling that you were going to answer my call when I was in the middle of doing something.
You're always in the middle. You're always in the middle of doing something, Juliet. Always. Just that's not a hard line to cross.
First of all, how are you?
I was doing pretty good. Then I heard, "Hi, this is Juliet." Now I'm depressed. I'm on drugs over here. I'm seeking counseling.
Okay. No, I don't want to bring that. No, but I was listening to you, and I really do. I like your broadcast, like I said before, but I do want to stress the fact that not every woman is meant to be a follower, nor is every man meant to be a leader. And I understand that your broadcast is supposed to go out to women or men who are looking to get married, who are looking to do the traditional man leadership, women submissive, and I understand that. However, women like me who are over 50 and who've been independent, who have been single and love being single, we kind of feel like, well, I'm speaking for me. I kind of feel that we are outcast. That's my thing.
Well, women over 50?
Well, the women that are single over 40 or 50
yeah,
who love
you
being
are.
single. We
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
feel
you
like
are.
We're outcasts.
No, you don't kind of feel. No, you don't kind of feel. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Yeah, game's over.
No, you're outcasting us.
Like, no. You played the field too long. That's what happened. You played the field too long. The clock was running, and you told yourself this game was never going to end. You were eating all the candy in the candy store and told yourself that the time clock would never run out. The time clock ran out. We didn't do this to you. You did it to yourself. You knew that clock was running, and you knew that you better claim a prize before you leave the store. And instead of claiming a prize and leaving the store, you were saying, well, I want to get exactly what I want, but you could never be pleased. And every time you had something, you kept telling yourself, well, the next one will be better. So I don't want to leave with this one because if I wait a little while longer, there'll be a better one. So let me just keep having my fun, and then there'll be a better one. And you all keep doing that until eventually you run through all your chances, except you're not aware that you ran through all of them. And then the game is over. So, baby, just understand, we didn't do nothing. Y'all did it. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Once you get in your 40s, the game is over. Truth be told, by the time you all hit your late 20s, the game in today's era, the game is pretty much over then. By the time you hit your 30s, you all don't hear the words 32 years old the way that men do. When you hear that, just understand that that's not good. That's not good. We don't hear that. As a man, there's a twinkle and there's a spark when you hear a female say she's 22, she's 23, even 25. Mm-hmm. When a chick says she's 35, that's it. We know you've been around the block. Dudes done had you in all kinds of sexual positions. Nothing's new to you. There isn't any freshness. And you're trying to convince us. You're trying to convince us that your seasoning and all your road miles have brought you these incredible attributes. Well, yeah, they may have, but just understand, most of you don't even know how to use it. So by the time you get in your 30s and 40s, there isn't any freshness left. So the time to cash out is in your 20s. Early 30s at the very least, at the very most, but you are really, really risking it and really, really playing it close if you wait that long. But yeah, by the time y'all are in your 40s, baby, we're done with y'all. We ain't really... What are we going to do? What are we investing in? What? A chick with a bad attitude. She's stiff-necked. She's stubborn. She's talking back. She wants to convince us that her time at the job should be impressing us. She's got a sexual history out of this damn world. And even if she doesn't, there's no benefit to it. It's not like the sex is going to get better. She's on her last 3 eggs. I mean, understand you waited until the value's gone down, so we're not the ones who depreciated it.
Maybe I'm slow, but I get it because after 40, like I was not looking to be with anybody or trying to be serious or anything like that. At that time, men got on my nerves. Got, dating or whatever. I think at 50, after 50, women look at relationships differently. So I understand from a total, different perspective of where you're coming from.
Well,
And before
I told you were looking for one. I told you were looking for a man. You've been trying to deny it all this damn time. You've been waiting for one too. You've been spending all this time pretending you don't. Okay,
I'm looking for a man. I'm not really looking for a man.
Are you looking for a woman?
Companionship is lovely, Jason, but
okay, thank you. That's what you mean. And that's what you mean right there is that, look, at 50 years old, she looking to get in where she fit in. And that's where y'all are going to be. If you all wait till your 30s or 40s, just understand you have exited relationships. Welcome to situationships. If you lucky, you'll get a nigga that's going to buy you a BMW to ride around in if you're lucky. And that's going to be it. But as far as wife material, there's no such thing as a chick in her 30s or 40s who is prime wife material. That ain't it. She's overestimating her value. That's right. Because you all live in a dream world where we've allowed you to fantasize yourselves into oblivion. So you have this fantasy that you're always evergreen and ever fresh and the men can't wait. You're holding on to an anachronism from when you were in your 20s. The truth of the matter is just because you're sexable, you all assume that because you're sexable that we also mean you're wifeable. Well, when you were in your 20s, sex and commitment were coupled. When you reach your late 20s, 30s, and God help you older, sex and commitment have been completely decoupled. They've been decoupled. They are no longer connected even tangentially. Every man is saying, well, she'd be good to lay up with, but the competitors for marriage, no, that's not you. Unless you have some type of celebrity to you. Now, if you're a chick with some type of celebrity, you might be able to stretch that into your 30s. But even Jennifer Lopez is sitting here trying to get in where she fits in right now. So she's like, look, Ben Affleck is fresh off the bottle, but he can pay for this house. So let me... Okay, just like the earlier caller, Tony, yeah, like I say, when she's talking about what she got to do, well, he's paying the rent and paying for the car, but he got a drug habit. Well, Ben Affleck can pay for the house and can pay for the Rolls Royce. Man, he got a drinking habit. Let me balance this out. Yeah, it's not that Jennifer Lopez doesn't know what she knew when she was dating him. She's like, well, let me see if we can make this work. Okay, it is what it is.
But it's fun. It's fun. At my age, being single, it's fun.
Baby, if you don't stop lying.
Just one more thing.
If you don't quit this damn lying, Juliet, baby, there's nothing fun. There is nothing fun for a 50-year-old damn woman being single. That's not fun. It's torment.
It's love. I love it.
What's to love about it? What do you love about being 50-something and dating? What do you love about being 50-something and dating? Excuse me. What do you love? Not like, love. What is preferable to being in a marriage or a long-term committed relationship to being 50 and just dating? How is 50 and dating preferable to being in an actual committed relationship?
Okay. I don't really, I like to be like, okay, why do men, I hate to say this on air, but why do men piss on a toilet seat? Like women always got to deal with men that do that. Like, it's like, I don't have to deal with any of that. Like, I have friends over my house over a year ago, and they were all coupled up. And they use my bathroom, and I'm like,
okay,
really?
I don't know what kind of damn prostate problem dudes you dealing with and whatnot. So it's probably most likely dealing with you and whatnot. Y'all all in your 50s and stuff. Your prostate is acting up. Urinary tract. All of y'all dealing with the urinary tract infections and incontinence. Y'all all sitting around watching Depends commercials. Okay, so I can't speak for any of that mess right there. Okay, so people who can't stop themselves from soiling. Okay, I can't deal with that. So I don't have any experience in dealing with that kind of thing right there. But you know what else?
Well, that's what I deal with having company.
Okay, well, you don't have to deal with that if you're not in a long-term relationship. You know what else you ain't got to deal with, Juliet? You ain't got to deal with somebody paying your car note for you. You don't have to deal with knowing you don't have to deal with knowing.
And that's cool.
You do not have to deal with knowing who is going to be with you tonight, a week, 2 weeks, a month in advance, not hoping or wishing. You don't have to deal with knowing it. You don't have to deal with knowing somebody taking you to your doctor's appointments. You don't have to deal with knowing about who is going to be with you, who's going to pay the rent, who's going to pay for your car, who's going to take you on vacation. You know what? You don't know that. You don't have to deal with that either.
But that's cool for women who are okay with that.
Okay, there is no woman who would prefer to wonder who's going to take her on vacation or if she can ever go. Every woman. Okay, there is no woman who wants that, including you. You all want to go on vacation. You all want to travel, and you all 100%. Every single one of you wants a man to pay for it for you.
Okay. Can you clarify one thing before we hang up?
I've already clarified everything.
No, you didn't yet, because I was asking in the chat room. Now, this woman was asking about a man, having everything, like basically he's a breadwinner or whatever, but when she acts up, he cheats. Is it okay ever for a man to cheat?
If the woman is okay with it, sure. First of all, it's not cheating if she's okay with it.
No, cheating is not okay. I mean,
if the woman
person's cheating and
okay, understand something. First of all, if you are with a guy who prefers to keep the company of more than one woman, you already know this, so it's not a secret. Women prefer women. Okay, Juliet, let's stop the bull crap. Women prefer to have a man who is desired by other women. That's the bottom line. You all are far less interested in a dude that no other woman wants. Those guys are invisible to you. All of y'all want the fellas who are, all of y'all, that's why y'all talk about Michael B. Jordan. By the way, none of y'all talked about his ass until he got signed with Marvel. And then all of a sudden, all the chicks are claiming they love Michael. No, y'all are the biggest liars on the damn planet here. No, you only wanted him when other women wanted him. That's the way it works. You only are interested in the guy if other women want him. That's it. So you all talk about that and whatnot, but the truth of the matter is most men don't have the ability to cheat. Most men don't have the ability to attract the company of more than one woman. Most don't. Most. Not half. Most men can't do it. So most guys
So
are
men
monogamous.
don't prefer to cheat.
Most guys today are monogamous by circumstance, by condition, not by choice. So even if he wanted to do that, he doesn't have the option because he's not appealing to more than one female. He's got his one chick, he happy where he is, and that's it. Now there's about 20% of the dudes who can. And the reason why so many of you females claim that most men cheat is because 80% of you are chasing those 20%. That's the reason that you all claim that most men are cheating. Yeah, because most of you are chasing the 20%. No, baby, you already got your card cashed out. Get your AARP and get on the bus for half fare. That's where you at.
I love you, Jason. You know that, right?
Okay.
So, just saying.
I wish you quit lying to the world about that.
I'm not.
You are not happy. You are miserable.
I'm cool and gang right now.
You are not happy. You are miserable. You like Oprah Winfrey. You're 50-something damn years old. And if you would sit down your foolish ass pride, we can get you a nigga from Compton to make you his side chick. And we can let you go right off into the sunset. That's where you need to be. Been calling me for years, wasting my time. Let me see. Is this country code 861? You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, sorry, let me get you off mic really quick.
Thank you.
Hello, Jason. My name is Sandra, and I am from, I'm living in Hangzhou, China currently.
Sandra from Hangzhou, and the dogs are barking.
Yeah, they just want attention. But I was just calling in to let the ladies that are watching right now know that everything Jason is saying is 100% fact. Like, I've been listening for about 3 years now, and quite frankly, like, the things that I've learned from listening to your channel has put me in a position where I've actually attracted, like, literally the man of my freaking dreams. Like, he is literally everything that I could have possibly wanted, and I don't think that I would have been able to attract that type of man if I didn't heed all the information that you were putting in your videos. So I just want to call in and just testify. Like, for me, I had issues with, like, accepting the authority of the men that I was dating. I thought that I was just so good that I didn't have to listen to what they were saying. Behave, like I forget what term you use, but just like a behavior problem. And listening to your channel, listening to how you describe, like, the dynamics between men and women, and taking in that tough love, because a lot of women, they get hung up on, how you present your message instead of actually listening to what you're saying. I listened to what you were saying, and I reevaluated my life, how I presented myself, the qualities that I had. Because, I have tattoos and things like that, and I really worked on building up those qualities of myself that were positive. And because of that, I was able to attract, like, a very, very good man. So I just want to say thank you for
I'm glad to
all
hear
the content that you do.
Well, let me find out a couple of things here, Sandra. How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
Okay. And like I say, y'all, for your posers and fakers out there, they don't know how to they don't actually give the women advice and tell them, okay, here's what you can do. Because some of these things are rule breakers, yes, but if you accentuate your assets and your offsets, you can turn the volume up high enough that it, abrogates some of those negatives. So in your case here, okay, 28 years old, do you have any children?
No children, no abortions.
Okay, no, she knows I'm going to ask that. Have you ever used any drugs?
I used to smoke weed when I was younger.
Okay.
But I stopped doing that.
And you're doing
for personal reasons, because it doesn't.
You're doing
I'm sorry.
teaching, right?
Currently, yes. I'm
Okay.
a kindergarten teacher.
All right. I just wanted to make sure about that. I wanted to make sure I remembered all that correctly. And the fella that you met there,
wow.
where is he from?
Georgia.
Okay. Is he black?
Oh,
Be
of course.
honest. Be honest.
Yes. He is a black man.
Okay.
I'm 100% in on making things happen for us, and we can't really do that if we're having babies with people from other races necessarily. He's a black man.
Okay, well, the real thing I want to ask you about here, though, is how long have you two been together? And that's a relative term, but...
Well, yeah, certainly. Well, it's only been about a month of us really communicating with each other and really, like delving into what is going to, like happen in the next, lifetime of things. But it's one of those things where we both are on the same page about what we're looking for. We both decided like we're not trying to play games with each other. There's a lot of things that he has going for him, and a lot of things that I have going for myself.
How old is he?
It lines up perfectly. I'm sorry?
How old is he?
He's 24.
Problem, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I wasn't really considering dating somebody younger than me. But the thing is that I've met men that were my age and older that didn't have that mentality that he has. So, maturity really depends on the person. It's not, that's an exception to the rule. Like, I definitely understand, like, the age difference. That's definitely an exception to the rule. But based on, like, the way he carries himself, the accomplishments that he's made, even at that age, like, I respect him and I admire him so much. And because of that, like, I have no issue submitting to a man that is younger than me, because I know that he has the ability to lead. He has those masculine characteristics. He wants to be protector, provider, all those things, and he's capable of doing those.
Okay,
so
you said he's in Georgia. Where at in Georgia?
I don't know if I want to put his business out there necessarily.
Go on.
Douglasville.
Okay, so he's outside the place I always keep getting wrong. I keep calling it Donaldsville, Douglasville. So just just west of Atlanta. All right. Well, definitely, like I say, I'm not gonna. Now you say how long y'all two been talking again, and I want everybody to listen carefully.
Well, we've known each other for several months, but like really talking relationship wise, it's been about a little over a month or so, about 2 months.
So here's my thing right here, and I'm very glad to hear that you two have hit it off. I'm very glad to hear you two have done that. Here's my issues, and I will provide. I mean, I would not be doing my job if I did not advise some caution. You're 28,
Certainly.
He's 24. How many times have you two met each other in person?
See, that's another thing. With me living all the way in China, it's not feasible for me to be able to fly back and forth with everything happening with the virus. So the thing is, I'm
okay.
I'm
now,
planning
did
on
you
moving
all?
Back to the States
Okay, now did you all hear me? What I asked her. Now, I want y'all to remember. Did you hear what I asked her? And did you hear what she did? Now, I asked her a numerical question. I asked her how many times have you two met each other in person. No. You heard me the first time. Let's keep it real. You heard me the first time. She understood. This answer ain't gonna go so well. So I asked her how many times have you met each other in person, and she launches off into an explanation of, well, you see, what happened was. So I wanted to point that out before I repeat myself. Because understand something, people, I retain information very well. I make sure that callers and people repeat themselves so you all understand it's not Jason putting words in their mouth, because sometimes folks will claim that, oh, that's not really what I said. So I've taken the practice now. I'm letting you all know. I'm now making it a practice. I want you all to inculcate in my position, hosting a program. I make people repeat themselves so they can't say, oh, I didn't say that. So I'll try this again. How many times have you and he met in person?
0.
Okay. And That's the real thing I'm taking a look at right there. So I'm very glad that you two hit it off. I'm very glad about that. I just don't want you to have pie in the sky ideas about it. I'm sure he's otherwise a very affable individual. That's fine. But I just don't want you to have pie in the sky ideas, because somebody can talk a good game and have never met you. But the truth of the matter is, you don't have any way of validating anything he's told you. You don't actually have any way of validating anything. So what I'm going to tell you is I hope things are all right, but I would also advise you to tread carefully. You haven't validated anything. You have no way to. You're literally on the other side of the globe. You don't have any way of validating anything. So I hope things go well. I'm glad that, y'all met up and everything. And if I've been able to help facilitate that or play some small part in it, that's great. Let me finish playing my part. Now that you have found someone, I would like us to make sure it is the right someone. We're not there yet. Not yet.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. I completely understand what you're saying. And I I'm not gonna go into a situation without, making sure that I'm keeping myself safe and, making sure the biggest thing is just making sure I'm safe. But so far things are good. And I definitely just wanted to say, like, I've worked on those qualities that I know that you've talked about in your program, and I just wanted to let the other women know that, like, the things that you're saying are facts, and it doesn't matter, like, if the tone makes you feel some type of way. The information itself is good, because even outside of just like trying to get a relationship, I've noticed that applying those qualities to my life has made my life better just in general, even before I even met this man. So I just wanted to like let everyone know, like, Jason knows what he's talking about, and to trust the information, because it's coming from a good source by someone who actually cares.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and definitely be in touch with me. You don't have to call me publicly. You can just email me and let me know how that goes. But when are you two, just out of curiosity, when are y'all planning on meeting each other? Or are you?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Well, my contract in China is done in July of next year. However, if I'm able to make some moves happen with these other financial ventures that I'm going into, then I'll be able to move back much sooner. So it really depends on the work that I'm putting in to try and make these other streams of income pop off, so that I'm able to just end my contract early and come home. And that's outside of just the relationship. I mean, I have, like, my sister's having a baby. I want to come home and be with my family. I really miss them. It's been way too long. So it's not just the relationship that I want to come home to. It's also like my family I want to come home to as well.
All right. Well, definitely let me know how that works for you there. I'm glad you gave us a call about that, and certainly wish you the best, and let me know how things go.
I will. Thank you so much, Jason.
You take care. I don't know what that fella told her, but that must have been some rock diamond solid game he was laying down. Whatever it was. We ought to bring him on here so he can just, bro, what the hell did you say to her? She talking about she gonna wait for you for a year. So I don't know what you said. I don't know what you showed her, but it must have been stone cold. Let me get caller from area code 773. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Chicago, and my name is Christina.
Hello, Christina from Chicago. What's on your mind?
I had a question for you, Mr. Jason. I have a daughter who, this is my first time listening to Life's program, and I was introduced to you through my daughter's boyfriend. His name is Charles Young, and he says he follows you, and so I wanted to hear what he was listening to. And he said he follows you, and he follows all you. And make a long story short, I have a 24-year-old daughter, and he's trying to get her to quit school. He's a forklift driver. He lives at home. And I just had a question. The advice that you give, I agree with a lot of it. I'm an older lady. I'm in my 50s. I'm married. I've been married for 22 years. My daughter, oh my goodness. Anyway, so he's trying to get my daughter to quit school and get married. He drives a forklift, and he lives with his parents.
How old is
the advice
okay?
that you give? His name.
Slow down. How old?
He's 26.
Okay, he's 26, and your daughter is how old?
She's 24.
Okay, she's 24 and he's 26. So what exactly is the question you wanted to ask me?
I wanted you to, I don't know if he's listening tonight or not, the advice that you're giving, or the expertise that you have, is it women as a collective
Yes.
that we're teaching here? Or is it men as a collective?
Yes.
Or,
yes to both.
What did you say, Adam? Okay,
yes to both.
Okay, so I hope he's listening tonight. This is a third party, me calling, so I guess you couldn't answer.
Okay,
his name is Charles.
Okay, well, ma'am, I'm going to say this one time.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say this one time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't say people's names like that if they're not here. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, because it sounds like you might have a bit of an agenda. I'm starting to pick up that vibe that you kind of got an agenda, and this would not be the place to try something like that. So if you just want to ask a question, we can do that. I'm not here to get publicly involved in trying to humiliate anyone if that's what you want to do. So I'm going to advise you carefully. That will be something that will backfire quickly if you try that. So let's just talk about your situation. I'm going to say this one last time. Exactly what is the question that you want to ask me?
The question is, he's 26 years old. He's a forklift driver. He lives at home with his parents, and he's trying to convince my daughter to quit school and get married on his $18 an hour income. And I'm just wondering what advice that you could give. I'll put it like this: give my daughter.
Okay, you say you're from Chicago?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
She might have to take him.
I was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
No, she might have to take him up. No, you from Memphis, the bastard baby capital of America. Moved to Chicago. She might have to take him up on that offer. Your daughter is 24 years old. Does she have any children?
No, my daughter doesn't have any children.
And how much does she weigh?
My daughter is 5'4", and she weighs 126 pounds.
Something's not right there. Something is not right. How's a chick who's 5'4" and not grossly overweight having these kind of issues?
Well, she doesn't seem to think it's an issue because he seems to sell a story that he's going to do this and that with a forklift position.
Okay.
And I'm just
Here's
very
the question.
concerned.
Here's the question you need to ask yourself.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Does your daughter qualify for anything better? And be honest.
Yes, she does.
Okay. Why do you think that?
I think, you know why I think that, Mr. Jason, is because my daughter, this is her first boyfriend ever. And I feel
24?
like she... yeah. You know,
okay,
like
what do y'all, okay, no. You said this is her first this is her first boyfriend
serious
ever.
Boyfriend.
Okay, no. Okay, this is her first serious relationship. Okay, this is not her first boyfriend though. So this is the first one. This is the first one. Okay, this is the first one you've taken seriously, not the first one she's taken seriously. So this is the first one you've gotten seriously involved with. But the bottom line is, well, definitely, here's the real issue here. What does your husband think of this?
Well, he's telling me to let it ride. It's gonna go a little bit. He says just let it ride a little bit.
Okay,
but
so you're married, ma'am. So you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how long have you been married?
22 years. This is my second marriage.
Okay, so he is not her father.
No, he's not her father.
Okay, so that explains, like I say, Jason doesn't guess his way through these things. So there's a reason why that's occurring. So he is giving you his advice, but is she listening to his counsel?
Yes, he adopted her. So
that was what I asked. That's not what I asked.
Yes, she's listening to him, but are you saying is she listening to my husband or is she listening to her boyfriend?
Is she listening to the man that you are married to?
Yes.
Okay, then why are you worried then? Because you sound very worried and very concerned, and you just literally said that your husband told you, oh, she'll pass through this phase here. Well, then that means that either he told her that she has his blessing to do this, or he told her that she does not, and she's continued to do so, which means that she does not respect this man.
No, he has said, he hasn't said yes to marriage, but he said okay to the relationship around about they've been dating around about a year now, so around about 3 months or 7 months. Yeah, around about 3 months into this year, whatever, he told her, okay.
Okay. Do you have any children? Do you have any children with this man? The one you're married to?
I have a son with him.
Okay.
I have a son.
Here's the issue here, okay? A man don't just let any old body run off with his daughter. This chick is 24. This dude is 26. A man doesn't just let any old body run off with his daughter. And he knows full well at 24, any male who talks to her potentially could get her pregnant, which means potentially she's going to be attached to this individual for life. So that's not something you're capricious about. So he's not going to be like, oh, well, y'all just date each other. But as far as marriage, I ain't really thought about that right there. No, that's not the way that works. So if he's approved them for, quote, dating and doesn't care about them getting married, that doesn't compute. That's not the way that works. The way that works is, I'm not really interested in you. At 24, she's not out here just dating people. It's supposed to be, okay, where are we going? Because otherwise, what he has signed off on is, oh yeah, get out there and run up your body count and let the South Side see you naked and put pictures on Instagram. As opposed to, okay, you're supposed to be a grown woman making serious decisions. You ain't supposed to be having bed buddies. And you're not supposed to be out here racking up a body count. You're supposed to be seriously dealing with serious men. Otherwise, you're creating a habit of dealing with men frivolously. So if that's not the way that this man you're married to has approached this, he don't really fool with your daughter for real like that. I'm keeping it real with you. And you know I'm right. And you know I'm correct. You know I'm right. You know full well that was not the right response. Well, y'all just go ahead and date. That's washing your hands. That is not, whoa, this is my daughter this nigga gonna be laying on top of. Oh, no. My daughter ain't just gonna be out here skinning and grinning with all sorts of dudes done seen her naked. We don't play that. No, you bring this boy to me and you let me talk to him and we're gonna see what's going on. It's not it's a phase, you should get through it. He's just like, I don't really want to hear about it. And that's what that is.
Yeah, because everyone thinks that I'm overreacting, but I'm not overreacting because I hear this talk all the time, from people or different situations of my friends' children and different things. Okay, so you quit school, then what? What do you do? And you're telling me this person is giving you all this grand advice, but you don't even have a place or anywhere to take her or to I just wanted to ask if this is, because I'm glad I listened to you because you made some really good points also in regards to having a plan. And I'm going to ask him when I talk to him tomorrow, what is your plan?
Well, let me find out here.
Well,
let me find out here. Your daughter is in school now.
Yeah, my daughter's in school right now.
Okay, what is she majoring in?
Law.
Okay. Well, that could work out.
And she graduated. I don't mean to interrupt you because I know you don't like that, but she graduated already. My daughter graduated from CCA. She graduated already at CCA College out in Oakland, California. So now this is her. She's going for her law degree. So she was lived out there. So she's back here, and she met this gentleman, and they've been knowing each other for around about two years, but they're starting to date around about a year now.
Okay,
so
where does she live currently?
She lives in Chicago. She lives in Chicago.
And
she doesn't live with me though.
Okay, but where does he live?
He lives in Chicago too, but he lives with his parents.
Okay, so she met him while she was in law school in Oakland?
No. She didn't go to law school in Oakland. She went to CCA, the California College of the Arts in Oakland. That's the school she went to.
Well, she went to school. She went to school in Oakland. Now, okay, the point is, was that where
she graduated.
Okay, but was that where she met? Okay, here. Ma'am, stop talking. Was that where she met him?
No, she met him here in Chicago.
Okay, so Oakland really doesn't matter. Okay, so thanks for throwing it in, but that really doesn't. That really doesn't. That's really immaterial. Okay. The bottom line is, she wants to become a lawyer, and a chick who wants to become a lawyer, let's hear black women stand up. A chick who wants to be a lawyer has decided, let me go get with a forklift driver who lives with his mama.
Right.
I want you, okay, whoa. You raised this. Let's stop before we go any further here. Before I move on, by the way, you're the feminine example to her. You raised this. She is the product of your teaching. This is what you made. You're the one who gave her the prototype. She's following your example as interpreted by her. Either what you taught her or what you allowed her to learn. So before you go any further, by the way, if you're not happy with it, she's following your mama's example. So if you're not thrilled about it, this is your handiwork. She didn't just pick this up one day. Somebody taught her. Chicks in law school, a fella living with his parents, driving a forklift, y'all are on the same level. That's how much your law school aspirations are worth. Somebody taught her this. So if you all want to know why it is, you got lawyers out there who got babies by guys who work at 7-Eleven. If you all want to know why it is, it's because somebody taught them it's the same. So just thought we'd keep that in mind.
Well, I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Jason, but I pretty much tend to disagree on that because
of course you would.
I can say, and I can agree with you to a certain extent.
2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. I
can agree with you to a certain extent.
2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. Yes,
I'm sorry.
Somebody else raised her. Somebody else taught her this. She just woke up at 24 and just started going crazy. The previous 23 years didn't make her into this. She just somehow skipped crazy all of a sudden. Yeah, the previous 20 years had nothing to do with this. Nothing at all.
Well, when you're young, I think, and this is what I've told her, that a lot of times people can talk and put things in your head that you feel that this is the best person or best thing for you.
Ma'am, a Negro spitting game is not going to overcome 20 years of good home training and solid, wise advice. That ain't going to happen.
What did you say? What did you say now?
A Negro spitting game is not going to overcome 20 years of good home training, a good mother image, and solid, wise advice. That ain't going to happen.
Well, I think it can because I've seen
it. Of course you would say that.
She met the guy for like a month.
Yeah, of course you would say that.
She met this guy a month, and
so you're absolving yourself.
Like, I'm ready to come home from China.
You're absolving yourself of responsibility. So of course you would say that.
No, I'm not absolving myself of responsibility.
Things didn't go well. It ain't my fault. And so just understand, she's emulating.
No, I'm not saying it's not my fault.
She's emulating your behavior. You won't take accountability. And when this goes bad for her, all you've really taught her is do what you want to do and you're not accountable. Now she's following it and you don't want to see the breadcrumbs that show, oh, she's emulating my behavior. Do whatever you want to do and you're not accountable, as opposed to you're responsible for every word you speak and every action you give. So this is what I mean by, this is what you raised. And she's just replicating it now. And here she is going to be in law school with a forklift driver who lives with his parents. And she's going to say the same thing you're saying. Well, that's just one thing right there. You can't judge. I was young. He was talking a lot. I was young. No, you were made into this. And now you're going to replicate that.
Yeah, and I'm going to, I can understand, but I'm going to interfere and get into this, and I will be calling you back to let you know how things are. And probably he'll call you also. And I'm going to tell him that his direction that he's trying to take things are not the direction that we want to go.
But that's not the person.
Saying,
okay.
And
that's not the person you need to talk to. Okay. Because the Mr. Forklift driver is not really an element here. Okay. He's not really a factor. And I don't know if you're shoveling snow
or he's
brainwashing.
He's trying to brainwash you.
Ma'am, I don't know if you are, ma'am, I don't know if you're shoveling sand or eating a Baconator, but stay still for a little bit here because there's a lot of rustling around going over there.
You said they still what now?
There's a lot of rustling around over there, so stay still, ma'am. Stay still.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah, it sounds like you're shoveling sand or building a popsicle stand or something. I don't know what's going on over there.
It's my earpiece. I'm moving my earpiece to my other ear.
Okay, well, she got one of the church lady hats rustling on her earpiece, but he's not the one you need to talk to. You need to talk to your daughter because understand this fella has no incentive to stop what he's doing. Why should he?
Yeah, he doesn't.
Okay, first of all, does he have any kids?
No, he doesn't have any children. He told her that.
Okay, well, that was a yes or no question. That was a yes or no question. That's all. I don't need the background story.
No, he doesn't have any that I know of. No, he doesn't have any.
All right, ma'am. All right, that's a yes or no. That's a yes or no question. Just yes or no, and then end of sentence.
No.
Okay. The bottom line here is he's in a building phase, but understand something. When a male has sexual access, that's usually the end of what he feels he has to aspire to. So why should he try harder if he's got some money in his pocket and a chick to lay up with? Why should he work harder or do more when he was able to get all of this with the output that he's putting out now? Why should he overexert himself? So there is no incentive on his part to jump up and spontaneously do more. What motivates men is sex or ridicule by other men. Those are the two things that motivate males. That's it. And right now, if he can get sex, he ain't worried about what men think. So he's not the one for you to talk to. You would want to talk to your daughter, but I feel that's going to be a challenging task, which is why you're calling me, because the truth of the matter is she don't respect either one of you. She's not worried about your thoughts. She's not worried about your judgment. She's not worried about any of that. So what that tells me is you all don't have anything to pass down to her. You don't have any assets that she's waiting on. You're not paying for anything for her. If you are, it's not of any consequence.
I'm paying for her apartment.
Okay, but when I'm
paying for her that she stays down at the. I'm paying for that. I pay for her car note.
Ma'am,
I bought her car. Paid her car note.
I'm glad to hear that. Does she have a job? Okay,
husband,
ma'am, does she have a job?
Pays her life insurance.
Ma'am, does she have a job?
Yeah, she does.
Okay,
yeah, she does have
thank
a job.
you, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she does have a job. But she's not making.
Ma'am, as I stated here previously, when a female has a job, I'm glad you called in because you're proving that this is a universal thing. When a female has a job, the job becomes her man. Psychologically, she sees that job as giving her veto power. That if worse comes to worse,
she's not making anything. If she loses her job,
psychologically,
but if she loses her job,
ma'am,
she doesn't have anything.
Okay, ma'am, if you interrupt the host again, I am going to put you on a quesadilla and send you out the drive-through window. I am not one of your folks at the church. When I talk, you wait until I am finished speaking.
I don't go to church.
Ma'am, you need to get some religion somewhere. I'm not your husband, and I'm not your daughter's boyfriend. You don't overtalk me. You're the one with a child wilding out, not me. But if you want to know why it is, because you obviously cannot diagnose it, she is letting you know my little old penny ante job in my mind gives me veto power. So this is not a matter of liking you. She doesn't respect you. So you can talk about a job and an apartment all you want to. She does not respect you.
Do you have your email address?
She doesn't, ma'am. I have an email address. I don't want y'all using it, but yes, I do have one. She does not respect either. She doesn't respect either one of you. Neither you nor your husband. She does not respect you all. She'll take benefits from you, but then again, anybody will let you pay their rent. So that's not a matter of that. She does not respect you. She doesn't respect your opinions. She knows that you, her mother, don't approve, and she's like, yeah, screw you. And she certainly doesn't respect your husband. He doesn't seem to be too concerned about it. He's more likely concerned about keeping you quiet, but not about what's going to happen with her. He's just like, she's grown now. So them her draws, she in charge. So you're very concerned, but nobody else really is. So the real thing is you need to talk to her and let her know. And you need to start developing some respect, because that's the element that's missing. She does not respect you. That's why her choices in men, she doesn't care if it embarrasses you or bothers you. She doesn't respect you. So she doesn't care what you think. She has a penny ass little job. She tells herself, psychologically, that gives me veto power over anything my parents think. And that I'm not obligated to feel gratitude to them because I got a job. That's my man. And I'm my own protector and provider, even though the math says otherwise. So, and by the way, rule number 5 I talked about tonight. Folks, if y'all thought I was just making this up, I have the ability to practice sexual promiscuity with limited consequences. I can sleep with whomever. He's exciting. He gives me raw sexual primal reaction and arousal. I don't have to listen to my parents. I got a job. Even if it don't pay much, nothing. She is psychologically reassuring because she tells herself, well, I'll just work more hours, even if it's not feasible. The bottom line is that's what she's telling herself. So you and your husband need to get together, and the both of you tell her in no uncertain terms, yeah, we don't approve of this. Not no ifs, ands, or buts, or maybes. We don't approve of this. You are 24.
Okay.
You need to be serious about whoever you're with, and this is not serious. And when you were 18, maybe we could sign off on you, quote, having some fun. You're 24. You're going to law school. This is not a good look for a lawyer.
Okay.
This is not a good look.
Okay.
This is not something you need me for. You need to just tell her this. If you're going to be a lawyer, what kind of look is this for a lawyer? Well, we in love. Okay, this is not about being in love. And this is where you're supposed to tell her, look, we're not even going to discuss this. If he doesn't have the ability to protect and provide for you, you're going to be carrying him. And you're going to get old on that very, very quickly. That's not going to be something you're going to be liking. So, no, this is playing games about that. But you all need to start asking yourselves, okay, what's our leverage? Well, we're paying for all this stuff. You might need to start letting her know it's like, hey, we will help you move in the right direction. We're not really trying to help you move in the wrong one. And this guy is obviously not ready. He's not ready. He's a forklift driver with dreams of but he's not ready. And let's see if we can try something we can try something different. But just let her know in no uncertain terms, we do not approve. And we're not going to finance something we don't approve of. And the reason we don't approve isn't because, quote, he ain't a nice guy. This isn't about, is he nice? We don't want you with somebody who is struggling. He is not qualified to be your you can play this back. You don't even have to have me on the phone with her. He's not qualified to be your financial leader. A woman cannot respect a man who's not her financial leader. Because if he's not your financial leader, he's not your social leader. You're going to have contempt for him because you're always going to have veto power over him because you make more money. And if you're carrying the financial load in the house, you'll never respect him. An attorney whose husband needs her financial ability, there's no way you can respect that. There's no way. So all the thrills you're getting in bed, it's gonna go sour real fast. And we're not gonna sit here and
Mr.
subsidize that.
Mr. Jason, you're right, because she did say to me, I don't want to, when you said to me, she says, you have to wait for him to tell you, I'm not going to be like that. He lets me be my own whatever woman. And she was telling me, you have to wait for him to tell you what to do and things like that. And I don't want to be like that. And I was telling her, I said, wait a minute. It's a thing. And I told him also, and it's a thing about a respect in the household that we have. We have a respect level here. And she's always had it, but it seems like she's, well.
How old is your son?
I'm going to take your advice.
Wait a minute, slow down.
He's 20.
Slow down. He's 20 years old. And where is he?
Mm-hmm. He's here. He's at home.
Okay. What is he doing with himself at 20?
He's at Columbia College here. He wants to be a producer, but you know how that goes.
Producer. I don't know what the hell that means. Was he taking his school?
Yeah,
Was he taking his school?
My husband told him that he's okay. I'm gonna tell you the whole story.
No. Just tell me his major. The whole story is his major. What is his major?
Right now, to be a producer, like to do music. Music production is his major at Columbia College.
All right. Well, you understand what usually happens is in situations like yours, the women tend to raise their daughters and coddle their sons. And there we are. That's why your daughter is out here working and ambitious to pursue a career, but she's got a guy with a dead-end job. As I said, she's
60 seconds.
She is replicating your teaching. You have taught her through either your advice or your example, and your daughter is replicating it. She is literally replicating what you have at your house already right now. Brick by brick.
My husband makes more than I do.
Ma'am,
I was a stay-at-home for 15 years.
And your daughter, your daughter is telling herself that it's going to turn out that way. What does your husband do for a living?
He's an IT.
Okay. Your daughter is telling, your daughter is young and does not understand that a guy who is employed is not the same as a guy who has an upwardly mobile, progressive career. She does not understand the difference between that because you all have not taught her the difference. So as far as she's concerned, well, this fella ain't in jail and he ain't on drugs and he doesn't have a bunch of kids, so I'm good. No, there are differences. So what I'm saying is she's followed your advice and your example, a mutated, corrupted version of it, but this is what you taught. She takes a look at her brother, so that tells us how you teach about men. And this guy she's with, yeah, there we go. There we go. So I can see from your son the masculine example in the home. And you're telling yourself, well, no, do not teach. There's a difference between what your husband's done for himself and what he's taught them. And I'm taking a look at the fruit of the tree, and I can see what they've been taught. This ain't something to guess. This is not me.
What have they been taught?
I just said, we have raised the daughter to think that, well, I'll do it myself. So she's giving the forklift driver a pass because she's like, oh, well, don't worry. I'll compensate for that. And take a look at her brother. Well, he's underachieving. Yeah, they raise the daughters and coddle their sons. So your daughter is getting out, ready to go out and be an overachiever for this forklift driver dude who's 26 years old, still trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life. The son is obviously showing the same thing. A music producer, please, let's get real. That's not how music producers don't learn to be producers in school anyway. If you really want something here, have your daughter get in touch with me.
Okay.
If you really want something, I don't want to talk to Mr. Forklift Driver, but if you want me to talk to somebody, I'll talk to the daughter.
Okay.
You can send me.
When do you want her to call?
You can send me an email at handle.
I even have her information.
Okay. You can send me an email at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. That's handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Send me an email. I'll talk to her.
Okay.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Yeah, like I say, I mean, understand something. There's not a million different ways you end up in those circumstances. There's really only a few. A lot of folks like to tell me, oh, there's an infinite number of pathways to end up here. No, it's not. For every circumstance in life where people end up with, there's actually a very limited number. And by limited, I mean 2 or 3. There's not 50,000 ways you can end up there. There's only a few ways you end up there. And when you have a daughter who is pursuing this kind of thing right here, that tells me what the masculine example in the home taught you. And that masculine example didn't teach you, here's the law under my roof. The law under my roof is that there will be no male laying on top of my daughter who doesn't meet my standard. The father is like, and do what you're going to do. And he's so busy with his career, which is what the baby boomers and those who are weaned on them tend to do. He's so concerned about his career and what he's doing that the daughter is out here doing whatever. The son has rap dreams. And meanwhile, your legacy is about to go up in smoke here while you're saying, well, don't worry, the kids will figure it out. No, they won't figure it out. What they're going to do is a mutated, corrupted version of what they see you doing. So they're putting together this Frankensteinian monster based upon your teaching and your example. And then, of course, you're going to be apoplectic. Look it up. You're going to be wigging out when you see that what they put together isn't as sturdy and stable as what you did. But if you take a look at it, all the basic elements are there. All the elements are there. Take a look at the forklift driver and take a look at her brother. That tells me what the daughter has been raised. That tells me what the son has been raised to think, and that the daughter was raised to accept the same thing. So she's gone looking for it. What they were taught was acceptable, and the son has gone on to emulate it. Now, the daughter, remember, the daughter was in college and progressive, and I'm going to be a lawyer, and the son is, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be a producer. So just understand, it's not a million different ways you get there. Let me get caller from area code 757. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Mel, and I'm calling from Clifton Park, New York.
Okay, back up off the phone. Try again.
My name is Mel, and I'm calling from Clifton Park, New York.
Okay, these phones tonight. I don't know if you're in a basement or not. Your phone's kind of clipping on you. You say your name is, did you say your name is Mel?
Yeah.
All right, Mel, and you're calling from where?
Clifton Park, New York.
All right, Mel from Clifton Park, New York. What's on your mind?
I'm calling to add to the discussion because when I was in my mid-20s and I was in the process of looking for someone to spend my life with, a lot of the women that I ran into that I would have conversations with would say things to me like, oh, I need to make sure that my career is straight before I focus on trying to find a man that can support me and take care of me. And they would balk at me when I would tell them the opposite and say, look, don't get me wrong, I didn't go to school to not have a decent career, but at this point in my life, that's not a priority. And I feel like a lot of women are really being told or sold a fallacy that they have to do all these things to get their career in order at the exclusion of doing anything to help attract a life partner. And I feel like that's a fallacy. I think that you can walk and chew gum at the same time because I had a job, I had a career when I met my husband. However, I still got married. I still made sure that I had a man in my life who was a quality man, and I didn't have to give up my career in order to do that. I just had to orient myself and be intentional about seeking out someone who would, provide or add to my life. It didn't have to come at the expense of what I was doing elsewhere. You
can't teach what you don't know, though, is the problem. So if you're surrounded by a bunch of females who, it used to be that young females could be groomed and taught by a group of older females, and they make sure they came up the right way and they saw the living example, because kids really learn from what they see, not so much what you tell them. But you can't teach somebody from a failed example here. I mean, if you're with a bunch of women who never were able to retain or keep a man, and certainly one never who did a damn thing for them, then all the daughters, I mean, it's a foreign concept. You have whole neighborhoods now where there are no males. You have whole neighborhoods where the community gatherings are a bunch of females. At the churches, it's a bunch of females. PTA night is a bunch of females. The females have raped and robbed the land and completely, disinherited the males. So the daughters are growing up with no frame of reference whatsoever. Yeah. They learn about males when they start laying on top of them. That's when they start learning. And so basically it's a bunch of raggedy, slumming, grimy, gutter on the job training. And hopefully you don't get pregnant or an STD or worse in the process. But you don't have a bunch of knowledgeable, seasoned, wise females teaching the daughters. So that's why it doesn't happen. They don't have any example to rely on. They don't have anybody to talk to about that, right? The reason why I've got females calling me is because they don't have anybody in their family to talk to. The woman who just got off the phone before you, her daughter doesn't have anybody to talk to. Reality speaking, her mom is at her wit's end, but she doesn't really know what to say. The stepdaddy is like, yeah, I mean, I gotta fool with you because I married your mama, but I don't really fool with you like that. And that's really what it is. And you're calling me a quarter of a century later to talk to me about that. Well, yeah, because there's nobody that she knows that she can go and speak to who's, a reliable source, who's going to deal with her straight. So, and you got two whole generations of that now. 2 whole generations who don't have any females they can speak to who have one whit of reliable wisdom or advice to give them. Not even one iota. Even the chicks who are married, most of them are basically single moms at heart. Even the ones who are married, most of them are single moms at heart. They're not single moms in fact, but at heart, they're single moms too. They identify with it. They dance to all the single mama slut music and all the rest of that. They got a husband, but they're not wife material. And that's the other thing that we see here today. We have a bunch of chicks out here. They may be married, but they identify with the chicks who aren't. So the daughters don't really have a lot of good options for what to do. That's a real problem.
Yeah, my mom, when I was growing up, my mom, one of the main things she would always tell me was don't submit to a man or don't marry a man that you can't submit to. And she wasn't saying don't get married. And she wasn't saying to be, contrary and harsh and disagreeable in your marriage.
Okay, but did she tell you what that was?
Marry a man. Yeah, she was like, marry a man that you can respect, that can provide for you, and that you will want to follow because he does what he's supposed to do in the marriage, which is protect and provide. And my father and my stepfather also told me, don't marry a man who can't do for you like I can do for you. They told me that.
Do you have any other siblings?
Yes, I have 3 brothers. And I'm the only girl.
And what are they doing?
Well, one of them is an electrician. The other one is a customer service rep, and the final one just graduated from college.
Okay, well, it sounds like things have gone good in that regard then. So at least they gave you some good advice there. I'm glad that turned out well for you. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Definitely go ahead here in the chat room. Miss Chelsea, you need to go ahead and see about emailing me your information there. We're going to give you a couple of minutes here. You can email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. And let's see about giving you a call up here. You can just email me with your phone number. And we're going to go ahead and see about having you on. You've made a very interesting point here, so I think that this should be a good opportunity for you to go ahead and give us a call about that. Well, the phone lines are closed right now and you can't call in, but that's okay. You can go ahead and just email me your phone number here. And we can go ahead and talk about that. We're talking here tonight about what happens when your job becomes your man. And as you saw with that second to the last call that we had here tonight, in the modern era when females have a job, psychologically, they interpret the possession of a job as being, I have carte blanche to do anything and everything I want to do. Doesn't matter how bad it is, doesn't matter how destructive it is. This is a carte blanche, free credit card to do whatever I want to do. Doesn't matter what it is. Nobody's going to tell me what to do, even if the job doesn't pay anything. So they don't make any connection or correlation between how much the job pays and how much trouble they get into. As far as things, if I make my own money, then I am exempt from the rules. That is the mentality that they're operating under today. That's the mentality they're operating under now. Not just one or two, but as a generation. So how do you make wife material out of that? See, that's the question that people are not asking. You want to sit up here and tell people that, okay, your purpose for existing is to defy a man's authority. How do you expect somebody to sit up here and make wife material out of that? What's the wife material supposed to be? How good of a wife what man wants his daughters growing up being taught that getting a job is what a man is looking for? That's the chief contribution he's looking for. Not even a job that you're contributing for. It's just like, I got a job, so respect my authority. A man isn't going to teach, his son to accept that, and he's not going to be happy with his daughter learning that either. That you're going to work because you want to be a disciplinary problem. You see, a man understands that he's not going to be here forever. A man understands that he's got to prepare you to thrive under another man's leadership. That's your father's job. Your father's job is to raise a female who can contribute to a valuable, powerful, progressive man's program. That's your father's job. He is the first man who grooms you, and then he prepares you to enter into a relationship with a man who can take over with this vessel that he has crafted. That's what it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to go down. So he understands that. That's why a father is very sensitive to the quality of the man that his daughter is with. He's going to want to sit there and see, okay, does this man have leadership potential? Is my daughter going to have to be the one who gets up out the bed when something goes bump in the middle of the night? A man wants to know that. Is my daughter with a man who is going to lead? Is she with a man who will do for her what I will do for her? Or is he with a fellow who don't really fool with her for real? Is she with a guy who is looking for her to lead? Because a man understands that his daughter is not really ever going to be able to lead at a protector and provider level. Your daughter is never going to be an alpha male. That's never going to happen. So a man is looking for somebody that when he hands his daughter over to them, that this fella is ready for come what may. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for somebody who is ready for that. He's looking for somebody who can deal with that. He's looking for somebody who's prepared for that. He's not looking for somebody who she's going to have to carry. He's not looking for somebody who's getting a whole bunch of benefits and whatnot out of what he's crafted. And then there they go. You see, you didn't used to have these problems when you used to bring folk home. There's a bunch of y'all right now. Your father never met the dude you've been laying up with for years until y'all met at the damn hospital. That's where you all met. You met the dude your daughter been laying up with for the last 3 years at the damn hospital when she was giving birth to the little bastard baby. That's where you met him. Never got to sit down. You have never sat down at the couch and sat up here and got to look him in the eye and see what's going on. Because you see, mama ain't really going to figure out anything's wrong until a catastrophe is struck. A male can't pull no game on another male. No, you can come at me with the yes sir, no sir thing right there, but I'm going to know if you about something, because I done work with niggas who ain't about nothing. I done work with niggas with pipe dreams. I done work with niggas with hoop dreams. I done met with niggas with unrealistic expectations. I done met with dudes who all they can do is talk and talk and talk their ass off, but never produce anything. So you ain't going to be able to sit here and smooth talk and jive talk your way through that with me. If you're a producer, we going to start talking on the producer level within the first couple of minutes, and you won't be able to fake it. You ain't gonna be able to fake it. It's not gonna happen. I haven't received an email from Chelsea yet, so to my mods, she's got 30 seconds more, and if I don't see an email here, she's gonna get blocked. That was not a request. Understand how things go down here on The Business. Here on The Business, when you are instructed to call in, that is an order, not a request. And by the way, that also works in reverse when it comes to females and whatnot. Sometimes men can have a blind spot. See, that's why you got to have a mama who's wise to the game. We got a bunch of gameless females out here. They don't know no game and whatnot. So the young lady comes over. She got the nice perfume on. She talking all nice and everything. Hello, Mr. Black. All right, you might have a blind spot. Mama ain't gonna have one. You know why? Because mama know what she was doing at that age in them streets. So she knows mama if mama is not gameless, she's gonna know when she dealing with a little slick broad who's trying to get over. She know when she dealing with a chick who out there in them streets. If her son can't see it because he in love and daddy can't see it, although let's just keep it real, as men, we can pick up game from males and females. Mama is usually blind to the females. She's usually blind to the males and can't see it till it's too late. But as men, we can pick up the game from males and females. We see when males and females are running game because we done dealt with both. We know what it was like dealing with these young hoes in the streets. We know what it's like dealing with these fellas who ain't doing nothing. But if your mama's not gameless, just in case daddy got a blind spot in some area, you need a Claire Huxtable. Yeah, I said it. You need a Claire Huxtable. You need a Claire Huxtable who can peep out. And this little heifer you done brought up in here, she thinks she's slick. This little heifer you brought up in here, she thinks she's slick. I see what's going on, though. I see what's happening. But this little heifer you brought up in here, she ain't slick. I see what's going on. She's not slick. She got a way of talking to dudes, and she know how to, ease through and finesse and be all suave. But I can see what you're doing. My son don't see it because he's starstruck. But I picked up on that. You see, when your mama done dealt with it, when your mama grew up with enough scandalous hoes, she knows full well that she ain't gonna sit up here and let her son walk off with a scandalous chick who's used to getting over on little young naive dudes. Mama ain't gonna let that happen. Mama's not gonna let that happen if she's not gameless. So when you bring these folk home and they got to run the gauntlet and got to sit down and talk to your family, they can see what's real and they can see what's not. They can see what's real and what's not, assuming you ain't dealing with some gameless people. If your father is not concerned and he's lived his life with his head in the damn clouds or either in the clouds or in the sand, he ain't got no game to give, so everybody's a sitting duck. And if your mama's a gameless old broad, well, she ain't got no game to give either. That's why you got to be on it. That's why you got to be on it. See, there's a whole bunch of people, they lived a whole damn long life and didn't learn a damn thing from it. That's the shame of this era. So many adults out here, they done lived 40, 50, 60, 70 years, didn't learn a damn thing. Just as clueless at 70 as they were at 17. That's a shame. That's an embarrassment. 70 years old, 50 years old, you have no wisdom to impart. You didn't learn a damn thing. When you were a 20-year-old female, niggas was laying up with you for nothing. Now you're a 50-year-old female, niggas is still laying up on you for nothing. What the hell? How the hell did you go from 20 to 50 and your circumstances never changed? The quality of men never changed. The circumstances under which men lay up with you never changed, never elevated, never got better, nothing altered. You was a 20-year-old thought, now you a 50-year-old thought. Your whole life has just been Groundhog's Day over and over again, just this endless time loop. 50 years old, 55 years old, no wisdom to impart, and everybody can see from the life you live in. You don't know nothing. Well, and then you wonder why your kids don't listen to you. Your kids are looking at you like, hey, you don't know nothing. I don't know. Hell, I'm more street savvy and smart, streetwise than you are. Why should I listen to you? Bunch of old dudes out here and whatnot. Your sons don't listen to you. Why? Because they can see, bro, you don't know nothing. You're an old square. They're taking a look at your life and it's like, I don't want to be you. You're not a power broker. You can't move no weight. Your sons are looking at you like, you ain't really the fella I want to be like. I mean, yeah, you pay bills, but it's like, you peaked a long damn time ago. Either that or you misguided your sons into thinking that underachieving and achieving were simultaneously the same thing. They're not. And they're not. So there's a whole bunch to learn. But unfortunately, we don't have an older generation as a group. The older generation checked out. The older generation checked out. They're not raising nothing. They're not looking out for anybody. The older generation is trying to get over on the younger folk. That's why you got these old chicks out here today who never ever got their heads straight and never ever got their acts together to become wife material. And then they're chasing around young dudes. Shout out Jada Pinkett. Shout out Amber Rose. Shout out all the rest of y'all. Who after you get rode hard and put away wet and hung out to dry, then you sit up here and go try to see if you can go find you a young male companion, and then you wind up screaming about him because you realize, oh hell, the dudes at all levels and all ages know the game. You're nobody they want to invest in. Then you got these old dudes out here and whatnot trolling the college campuses like they some whack-ass R. Kelly. Yeah, but you ain't got nothing to offer. And as soon as them little college gals figure out, oh, this is all this little old SSI carrying nigga got, then they move on. And by the way, let's just be very, very clear. Most of you who try to get laughed out the room, 99.9% of you, let's just keep it real. There ain't a bunch of silver foxes getting over like that. Them niggas love to tell you that's what they do. Ain't none of y'all getting no play like that. None of you. Ain't nothing under the age of 30 trying to holler at you. And hasn't been. But that's what happens when you've lived a whole lifetime and never really gained anything from it. You can't really operate and move like you want to move. You start fantasizing and daydreaming, but nothing gets done. And even your children and everybody around you sees that. We've been talking tonight about what happens when your job becomes your man. Some tough love and some hard things had to be said here, but it's very important that you know that. What happens when your job becomes your man? You ready to deal with that? If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that laid the foundation upon which all of you red pill, MGTOW, high value posers, alpha male wannabes, and all the rest of my copycats on the internet who've gone off and put out perverted versions of what we teach here. This is the place that's going to give it to you raw and uncut and untainted. I want to thank everyone and everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program, either on PayPal or Cash App. Thank you to my man Jean, to my girl Eve. Thank you very much for your support. We see you out there, Christine. Andre Hatchett, that's my dude right there, and everybody else who has supported tonight's program on PayPal or Cash App, as well as the Super Chat. I see all of y'all. Thank you very much here for showing up and showing out. Very, very important to do that here as well. If you haven't been over to our Patreon, you want to go ahead and check out our exclusive content over there, stuff they've been knocking off of YouTube here lately. But definitely very good to have that as well. So if you haven't considered joining that, you want to, we are looking at doing our skilled trades workshop. Bunch of people have been asking me for that. Very, very highly anticipated. Can't wait to be putting that together here. I'm looking at trying to get that out the door here next week. So be looking for that coming up here shortly. The Skilled Trades Workshop. You're going to want to be a part of that if you're not a member of our Patreon. And instead of folk telling you about being high value, we teach you how to become high value. So go ahead and sign up for that if you haven't. A lot of good game is going to be given out in that regard here. The stuff you didn't learn in college or high school, you're going to be able to hear it straight from the source in this regard. So be there and check that out here as well. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.